Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Cams here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. After the Blues get done, 11 goals 5, 71 to 14 goals 15, 99. Season done. Devastating way to end the season. Devastating way to finish what looked so promising. And here we are for the final time on the Fan Cams after a game. I mean, logically, that was always happening, wasn't it? It would have taken something special to see a win. It wasn't to be, but we'll unpack it. We'll unpack everything. Can you guys just confirm, what is the stream looking like? Camera quality is not good. Yeah, I'm from a laptop. Is it choppy? Is it actually clear? I might need to connect back to my 5G. I'm going to put the link in the chat shortly, but would love to hear as many of you. It's fuzzy, whatever. The camera quality is not going to be great. Let's get Pommy in while I fix my internet. Hello, mate.
He bought his camera from Kmart. Camera from Kmart. How are you, brother? You all right?
I'm going to hook up.
And he's gone. Well, chat. Isn't this a fitting event? While we wait for Terry to go back up, everyone's all right, you know? Got a bit emotional at the end of that live. I love you all a little bit. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm on my 5G.
Oh, look at that. You look sexy again. That's better.
Might do that intro again. Fucking hell.
Let's do it again. We'll pretend I'm not here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Cams. After the Blues get done at 27 points, 28 points actually. It was 11 goals 5, 71 to 14 goals 15, 99. I can hear two people going at it in the room next to me. Hilarious. Pommy, what's going on, mate? At least someone's getting lucky.
I was trying to work out what you meant. Going at it means something different to me. It's fighting. I was like, I know you Aussies mean something else. I was like, this is fascinating. I want to talk about that. Look, it was poor, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It's not what you want to see. But I mean, it's probably the standard you've been expecting over the last 6 to 8 weeks, isn't it really? And you kind of go out the way that you set the precedent. And we talked about the last 4 weeks being really important for finals, and it kind of showed when it came to the crunch, didn't it? And a lot of questions have got to be asked. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting postseason, isn't it? It's probably not the time to talk about it, but it's going to be an interesting postseason because obviously they lost their way before their injuries. And obviously Voss made the statement in selection. He trusted certain players. He trusted his system, which ironically was probably the issue when our form started to go, when players started to return and Voss started to tinker. So it's a fascinating conundrum for him, I think, and it's going to be a fascinating off-season.
What was it? 60-0? Is that how far it got before we kicked a goal?
Yeah, well, we said it we had a real philosophical watch along, and usually I'm angry at this stage, but it's always a worry. I always tell my sons, the minute dad doesn't rant and rave when you come home and you've done shit, that's the time to worry, because that's the time that you have lowered my expectation of you. Mm-hmm. That's a very dangerous place because it's very hard to win it back. Very hard to win my faith back when I lose it. But we talked about, there's that old saying, isn't there? Strategy plus effort equals results. And when people talk about strategy and results, they always forget the plus. Because when you're working with human beings, there's no addition. And it does worry me that we talk about contest and pressure. Pressure is a posh word for saying effort, and contest is basically breaking even and making it scrappy. They should be parts of your plus. Effort is part of the latter, execution. The strategy is elsewhere. The strategy is how you go about it. So that's fascinating. And I always say this, you've got to start with a standard. And the best way to start with a standard is you accept the untangibles, the things that can't be changed. A coach won't change the size of the goalposts. A golf coach won't change the size of the golf hole. They accept them as unchangeable. Our standards, though, mean that we always rise above the acceptable level. And that wasn't acceptable. Strategy is king.
Yeah.
And we were really, really poor there, Terry. Really poor. I mean, the decision from Michael Voss to drop Chincotta, to play Fantasia, and to play Durden on Zorko. Poor.
Yep.
TDK, he was quite boisterous at the start of the game, said that he would be subbed out for Pitternet, and they saw a way in to the game. Within 20 minutes, he subbed off Kennedy, which I think is a very interesting look for Voss because we've flown him out. Was he the worst? I don't know. TDK comes on, and I know he looked injured, but you're telling me that was the right call sub? Fascinating. A lot of questions to be asked. And you know what? I mean, let's not sugarcoat a turd. It's poor. It's poor. Like, you wouldn't have taken 8th at the start of the year. You wouldn't have taken losing in the first final at the start of the year. If you did, your standards just are nowhere near enough to be good at anything.
Such a waste.
And no doubt there's going to be about 8 people come on the fan cam minimum, say, next year. But you know what? Sometimes there isn't a next year. Do you know what I mean? Like, if anyone's in the chat who's lost someone they love, there isn't a fucking next year. Eventually, this is the last year. Eventually, next year is last year is 10 years ago. It's 20 years ago. You've got to live in the now. And unfortunately, these boys are way below standard. And injuries, yes, they had them, but you know what? Great teams rise above hurdles. They rise above hurdles, and unfortunately, we didn't rise above any hurdles. We limped to the hurdles, and that's a worry. That's a worry, and pressure's going to be on now next year.
Yeah, well, it doesn't leave us anywhere to hide, and some serious adjustments need to be made, which is stating the obvious. Really, that last third of the season, what was it? 9 weeks. The last 8-9 weeks of the season, just like, I get it's tough. I get the competition's really tough. But fucking hell, when you get yourself in such a position, that's going to be the biggest question now, isn't it? For the next 5-6 months, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, we're already into the season. I mean, chat talking about Nick Dacos coming to Carlton. I mean, come on.
Well, there's half the fucking problem.
Come on. I mean, we've got all this management video dropping on Pommy and Oz. I was going to release it yesterday, but then I thought better of it, and I thought I'd give these Blues a chance to prove me wrong. But the list management is an incredibly precarious position, so the only way that the Blues can buy themselves out of it, which I think they've bought themselves out of this for too long, is trading players out. And you know what? You suggest trading any player at Carlton Football Club, the fans kick off, and then the club hear that, so the club do everything they can to protect it, so you can't get that change. I mean, it's a real interesting time here. It's a real interesting time because the system, we've talked about it all year, requires too much pressure, requires too much energy, and it requires quite literally 24 players to be fit at all times. But that's too high maintenance in today's game. Collingwood's injuries list last year was an all-time low for the system that they played. They got more injuries this year. You saw what happened. A pressure-based game doesn't exist in today's game. It's an old-school way. You don't hear coaches talk about effort in sport anymore because it's now actually regarded as everyone just does it. Subconsciously, we should do it. It's a fascinating little situation we've got ourselves in. And the problem is we've got the talent to do it.
Yeah.
Old saying, Terry, hard work always beats talent.
Amen to that, mate.
But that was a damp squib to come out. And the problem is when you perform like that and you look at it, it's poor. It's really poor. Simple things not done. You look at how their small forwards operate compared to ours. They lead into the pockets. They lead into channels, which then creates avenues for their keys, who are less talented than ours, we might say, be able to hit target, be able to hit up one-on-ones, to be able to hit their marks on the lead. We don't have that, and that's been a hole in our system pre-Voss, pre-Teague, around the time of Bolton. That's never been addressed. You look at our midfield constantly hands balls into trouble. No one decides to stay away from the contest, which all the top teams are doing now. That doesn't mean done. These systems are always there. The only thing that masks these system errors is continuity in the team and the fact that this team can bulldoze teams at times, which they did early part of the season. Once it gets exposed, when you don't have a strategy, you're relying on talent. And we saw the last 12 weeks, it was kick it to Mackay, kick it to Kerner, hope Cripps goes Cripps mode, hopes Walsh goes Walsh mode. And that isn't how you play the modern day. You've only got to look at Geelong. Half their list is over pick 40. Why? Because they talent acquire. They prioritize role players. Brad Close is heralded as a genius. Tom Atkins. These are role players. We still worship the star and expect the star to be there. And the truth be told, the role players are our best asset. You look at the Geelong game, our best game this year. What was it? 13, 14 goal kickers. The spread, it was hard to double up, triple up, quadruple up on us. We're lacking. We're there, but we're lacking. And unfortunately, this seventh oldest list going into this season, that will jump up next year because some of the teams above us are having mass retirements and mass outs. The time is the next 24 months. And at the moment, our system is try harder than the opposition or lose.
Yeah.
And that would say you need 12 months to embed at least a system that makes it look good.
Yeah. Lots to come.
It's all right, though. Always next year.
Yeah. Just keep having Rocco ringing in my ear 4 years ago. He said, keep saying, yeah, next year. Be careful because time will pass. And time just keeps passing.
Mate. Life is something that happens while you're making plans for something else.
Yeah, true.
You know, great man said that, John Lennon. But he also did say, I am the Eggman, I am the walrus, cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. So it's hard to really get a grasp on if he was a genius or he was just fucking high.
Probably a bit of both.
Mate, the best in the world are. You know what? I've taken up enough of your time. I just want to say before I get emotional, you know what? I've been called a lot of things in my life. Father, husband, golf pro, legend. Some nasty things as well, but we can't say this because we don't want Terry to get demonetized. And it'll be the first time YouTube will watch this and not demonetize him in the first 20 minutes. Looking after you here, Terry. But you know what? One of the biggest honors is being the watch along guy. You know what? I've met some wonderful people. Some of you have reached out. We had a little bit of a love fest at the end, so I'm not going to bore all of you. You know what? That's one of the greatest honors. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, a little pom from the northern east of England coming to Australia, and 1 minute you're calling me a pommy twat, and the next minute you're hanging off my every word, and we're having a bit of a crack in the game. So it's an honor. And you know what? We'll keep doing it, because at the end of the day, it's the worst that can happen. There's worse things out there.
That's true. Mate, it's an honor to have you here. Thanks very much. Still got more things to unpack before we fully farewell for a year, but I guess this is the last time we have you on the fan cams for the year after a game.
And I was nice. Yeah. No, didn't say the F word once. I I don't believe I did. Because there is $100 on Pom will say the F word in this fan cam. So if I haven't done it, I have won $100. So there you are.
Well done. Good stuff. Thanks, Pommy.
Peace. Love you, mate.
See you, mate. Connor, yes, I will put the link in the chat shortly. Stand by. Original Voss Presser Tripe, Backstock, and TDK sub. Hey, Nelson, thanks for the year, lads. Coaches need to come out and own up to the fact they fucked up the last 2 months. Yeah. Very curious to see the language that comes out now. All right. I'm going to put Joe through here, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat. I've actually expanded the waiting room. There's 15 of you that can sit in the back here. So stand by for that. Hello, Joe.
Yo. Fucking hell, man. Seriously. Oh my god. I don't know. You did well to get up there, first and foremost. Well done.
I mean, look, I said it all week, and I said it to everyone I spoke to here. I'm only here just in case.
Yep, fair.
Just
It's a
in case.
it's a good way to look at it. Yeah, man. It's just I don't know. I've seen there's a couple of comments on Instagram that I've seen already from some supporters that have said, and this is to quote, they were proud of the fight back and to give the boys a break. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, man? If that's seriously the mentality, what are we doing? Like, I don't think enough people understand what a high performance culture actually means. It gets spouted every week by this club to us as fans. It's something that we tout, something that we like to talk about. I don't think enough people understand what it takes to sustain a high performance culture, because a big part of that is on days like today and for the last 12 weeks, these are the times when accountability needs to be at its absolute highest. And that accountability doesn't just come from the players. And you'd hope that they held each other accountable. I said this a couple of weeks ago. If they have been, it's probably even scarier than if they haven't been having those conversations and trying to foster that sort of a culture. But it also comes from your fans. And we've spoken about this for years, Tez, on this channel. Years. That to say you're proud is weak as piss for me. I'm sorry if it's brutal. I'm sorry if it's harsh, but that's not the mentality that fosters high performance or winning culture or sustained results. It's just not. And what we've witnessed, not just today, we'll get to that in a minute, but for the last 12 weeks is so far off the mark, it's not funny. We've only beaten West Coast and North. That's it. Since West Coast, North, and Richmond were our last 3 wins of the year in the last 10 weeks or whatever it was.
Wow.
Right? So that's number one. Number two, if you think as supporters we should just take it easy after falling into an elimination final, giving ourselves another opportunity to actually have a crack, and starting a game 60-0 in a do or die scenario, if that's an environment where you need to give them a break, oh man, what's the point? What are we doing this for?
It's actually, now that I've realized, it's the polar opposite of 2023.
Complete opposite. Complete. Like the complete. And this is the thing. So I said this on the podcast a few weeks back. We haven't put together a season.
Yep.
I can't remember the last time this club put together a season. Put together half seasons. We put together 26 or 27 weeks total, where we only lost 4 games, but that was across 2 years. We cannot. It's like this group is incapable. The group of players, coaches, admin, whoever it is incapable of just focusing for 27 straight weeks.
Yeah. It's still an emotional team, isn't it?
Super. And
emotional club. I mean, yeah.
You see it with like the inclusion of Doc. That's emotion, man. I get it. We love him. I love him. It was great to see him out there. It was great to kick the goal, but he looked lost. You can't say he didn't. He looked lost, and he's not the reason for the loss. I'm not. It's it's not about potting Doc or potting certain players, but there were a few out there that looked lost tonight, and a lot of them have missed a lot of time. There's no continuity, and it's been a big question mark. I raised it after the Geelong game on the podcast. I said, to watch out. Right now, we've got the balance right, but we've got some players coming back. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And again, as they did in the prelim last year, I don't know, man. Selection integrity, it's not quite there. Not quite there. And that's, when you're not giving spots based on merit, one, it leads to a lack of continuity, as we've seen. But two, it doesn't create a sense of urgency for anyone on the list to go, I need to do X, Y, and Z to play. Because gifting a game to Adam Chera today, for instance, as that's one example, is the epitome of that. He's missed too much time. He hasn't really shown enough this year to on merit to be able to say that he should have been picked for an elimination final. It's one example. But all of these little things add up. And all these things add up over the years. And like Pommy said, and like you said, we have been a fan base that have always said, oh, well, it's always next year. But I'm telling you, time has almost run out for this group. You look at the age, all you got to do is look at the age profile, and it has almost run out. That's how quickly it's going to go. And it's scary. It's scary, man. It really is. Days like today, just like, I don't know, watching something like that, it's like, well, how much progress have we actually made? Sure, we've made 2 final series in a row after not making a final series for 10 years, but man, you might as well not even play. Yeah. You might as well not even show up.
Fucking hell, man. Down 10 goals to goalie. Oh, and the crowd was so ready for a big, like the crowd was ready. It was so loud. The pocket section that I was in, just the whole bay, like from level 1 and 2.
But that is us. That's our fan base. Like, we're allowed to be emotional. We're allowed to ride the roller coaster and go, all right, you know what, we'll get behind you again this week. But they've now got to show us. I don't know how long we've said this for. They have to show us consistently. Yeah. Like, we thought we had it this year. You and I spoke about this a few weeks back. We both trusted this group entirely after that Geelong game for the first time. And then I don't know, man. It's just they went back to their old ways, old habits. I don't know if something has happened or if they're just not capable of putting together 27, 28 weeks of just consistent footy. The last 3 wins are against bottom 4 clubs. That's what we've got to remember about this season, is that is the form line we took into the first week of finals, and it showed. We played like a bottom 4 club for the first half, and the game was done.
Yeah. I went last night to Hawthorn Doggies. You just look at that. You want to talk about next year.
Hey.
The speed in which decisions are made from, that game alone, Doggies and the Hawks, but how do you be so in tune with your game plan?
Yeah. But it's not just the game plan, it's top to bottom, right? Like Hawthorn bottomed out for whatever it was, 6-7 years. I think it was that first finals win in 8 or 9 years. Really, they had the same drought that we had, almost, right?
Yeah.
But you look at the Hawks, they're young, they're peppy, they play footy the right way. You can see there's buy-in. Like, we just don't have any of that. We just don't have that. And it's like, I don't doubt the Hawks are going to make a step again next year. I don't think anyone does. I can see us going backwards again next year. I just can. There's going to be. This is the thing with this group, and I'll jump off in a minute. But the last thing I want to say is this off-season has to be brutal. It just does, right? Because if we've gone backwards this year, which we have, then clearly something's not right, and clearly we didn't grow. So you got to find room for growth now, and to do that, you've got to clear out a few things, whether it be players, coaches, whatever it may be, right? But we've got to be brutal. And unfortunately, my take on this group, looking from afar, is they are mentally fragile. They're a mentally fragile group. And my concern is that if we make some brutal calls on some players in particular, how much is that going to rock the culture and rock the stability of the group? And knowing how fragile that has been over the years, how can we have any confidence that that's going to have a positive effect on them going into next year?
Yeah, well, I think you've got to hold people into account. So whether that's players who are just consistently unavailable, only the people on the inside know who is truly diligent with their preparation week to week and who wanes week to week, who lets it slip a couple of weeks and, misses a couple of sessions here or there. Like, they've just got to go.
Yeah.
They've just got to go. I mean, we've made the call on Russell. We now know who's going to be our head of high performance next year. So that's great. We have complete closure on that, which is a positive. My fear is that we have this guy coming in and the club say, oh, well, you know what? New guy's coming in. Maybe we hold on to these guys that are consistently injured because the new guy's going to come and fix them up. And that's honestly a fear of mine now.
It's not just the injuries, though. It's just like, and I completely agree with all of that. And this guy, I think Burgess, I think his name is, that's coming in. He's worked in the EPL. Yes. He's worked all over the world. No. Like he's got a rep, man. No,
we're getting the guy from Sydney.
Oh, sorry, it is. It's the guy from Sydney. Sorry,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Been overseas, been a little bit out of the loop. But you're right. That's right. But anyway, regardless, like from Sydney, even more so, high performance culture, man. That's the highest performance culture in the league.
Yeah,
that's the standard. They've been the standard for almost 20 years, right? So if he was to come in, we've got the same issues. It's not a him problem. And at that point, you're scratching your head, going, "What's going on here?" And then it's not just the fitness side of it. It's just like, where's the buy-in? Who has buy-in at this point and who doesn't? And if you don't, there's the door. Like, they're the calls I want to see made. They're the type of calls where it's like, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your name is. If there's no buy-in, if you're not prepared to do it the hard way and do it right and do it the way that we say, e.g. the coaching staff, the way the coaching staff say, see you later. See you later. You're either going to do it our way or you're not.
Yeah.
And that's the watch and wait now. That's it. So we'll see, man. We'll see,
man. Hey, it's hate to be saying this, but thanks for the year, Joe. Thanks for the year of almost Blues Brothers. And I don't want to talk like this, but it is what it is. We've still got more shows to come and reviews to come and things like that. But obviously, from a fan cam's point of view, just want to, sense of love.
I appreciate it. And we've got one more episode to do. We'll be doing it together here in Madrid. Yep. I'm going to go enjoy the afternoon now. But, we've got one more show tomorrow night. I think we'll do it. And but it's been a great year. It's always a pleasure, Tez. And this community, if the club isn't consistent, but I can say this community is absolutely consistent week in, week out. So it's always a good space to come back to. So well done to everyone on the year and sticking through. But, it's disappointing.
See you soon, my friend.
See you, mate. I'll talk soon.
Hey, Crystal, thanks for the $3. Hey, Ben, thank you for the $3. Tez, is it the players, coaches, or list management? It's the club. It's everyone. Crystal, TDK a sub already meant a loss. Then to sub off Kennedy, who flew down when he could have been at home with his baby. Durden had less disposals than him, and he played a whole game. Ridiculous choices. Vic Wide renovations. We had 2 weeks to plan, and we fucking came up with that. Also, Chincotta, why was he fucking dropped? Yeah. Joel.
Mate, you look like you need a holiday.
I'm supposed to be on a holiday. I'm in Brisbane.
No, you need to. No, that doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. I mean, like I said
no.
to you, logically, I think we all knew what the logic told us. It was just, you just never knew until you knew. And then we knew pretty quickly in that game that it was just, it wasn't it.
Well, I've been sort of on here since I made my debut on the fan cams this year, and I think I tipped from about round 9, was it, that we were up shit creek, and we fucking certainly are now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
With my very words.
We're up shit creek, I remember. Wow, that's time's flown. Jeez.
Yeah, no, I mean, Oh, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not good. It's fucking not good, Joel. 100% agree.
Yeah,
mate, in a final, that was just fucking so bad, man.
Yeah. No, the club is really in a fucked up spot, big time. I can give you I think there's some communication breakdown within the club. I've personally experienced that firsthand. I've seen that from my dealings with some people already this year. Mm-hmm. I can say that for sure. Look, we haven't got a coach who knows how to coach. Fair dinkum, fair and square. We've seen that this year. Which it pains me to say, but 3 seasons now. Look, what's really gotten through us, what's gotten us into finals, Terry, is just pure talent from a few individuals. Fuck, that game plan is fucking stinky. Fucking hell, it's just rotten as fuck. So look, everyone is now kind of posting comments saying that they can see that, Chinkotto was ridiculous. And it just makes me wonder about the culture within the club what's sad is they really had no choice because, when they've got those players available, you have to play them on the coin that they're earning. But it does reek of selfishness for that to happen. I think for those players to sort of put their hand up and say, we'll play even though we've hardly played this season, And I don't know what the chat thinks on that, but I just think that permeates, that mentality permeates through. I mean, we had at least one of those 3 players that came on in this last 2 weeks, I reckon, should have been played. Fucking Durden and Motlop did fuck all again. I've said that so many times. I mean, they seem nice. I'm not, look, they seem nice people and whatnot, but fuck, when you're not getting touches, fucking hell. And the coaches are even more stupid to pick them. So I don't know why they didn't play Moya. I mean, I think they should have played Moya over one of those 2 players. So back on the culture thing. The number one thing I would like to see change this off-season is this sort of, it's kind of like, I feel like, everything will be okay. The leaders sort of say, we'll slap you on the back, and we won't yell at you to pull your socks up, and when clearly you're not performing, we'll just say, next week. And I think other posters have said that. We're sick of that next week, because we've been saying that for years. We need to grow some hair on our balls and really just fucking not stand this mediocrity anymore.
I mean, I've referenced this moment in the season a couple of times now. After Geelong the first time, it was as if we were ready to start talking differently. the word unacceptable got thrown out, and then that got pulled out. That language got pulled out. Then we started losing, and then there was just a little bit of a, she'll be right. It's going to be okay. Just get back to our brand. And what is I don't know if that's the people that are saying those words or if it's the people that are telling them to say those words.
Yeah, I'm sick of this. Yeah, I know. I'm just sick of all the crap that gets posted out on the Carlton website every fucking week about, this week's so-and-so, just looking in the rearview mirror and trying to fucking pick something to get excited about when fucking we've lost the last 7 games or something. Yeah, it's just, I'm over it. I don't know if I'll be following. I don't think I'll be. I think I'll have more of a life next season because I think we're going to plummet. I think North Melbourne have more hope of fucking reaching the finals than us, to be honest. I don't know. I wonder what other people think about that, but I don't think I'm far off from that. I mean, look, and I haven't even touched on my favourite player, Harry McKay. I mean, he kicked 3 goals, but fuck, he did fuck all really all game. He misses the first. He kicks the first shot and he misses. He does that every fucking week, and he has his own fucking podcast. He's got such a big fucking head. Maybe look, I would trade him. I'm sick of it. I'd just trade him. We need some pace. We don't, that's and main thing is just we just fucking time after time. Brisbane were first at the ball, and our game plan is so fucking shit when we just bang it up in the air, and it's really annoying. Look, I'm not saying things that people already, everyone's seen there. I need to go on about it.
No, look, mate, everyone, listen. The purpose of this is for you and everyone to express what you're thinking. If that's what you're thinking, if that's what you're feeling, and if that's what's in your mind, then mate, fucking.
Well, look, a lot of the shit that I said this year I was right. I mean, it's there. It doesn't give me, so I can that's why I can kind of show my face on here because, hey, I got a lot of this shit right. I mean, I was into these, not that I'm saying other people, anyway, look, I just wish that what I was saying, people at the club had the same were seeing this through the same lens that I was, or yeah, that's that. But maybe that's why I'm not in football.
Well, mate, if there's one positive to take out of, many positives to take out of the year from a community standpoint, it's that we got to meet you. Okay. So it's been good to add you to the rotation. You're valued, and that's listen. The players come and go. They come, they play 10 years, whatever they do. They come, they go. But these people in the chat watching, like, we're here forever. Our kids are here. Their kids are here. So, and it's just a shame. It's just a shame to be sold hope.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, that's the main. Yeah, that's the big killer, isn't it? That's annoying. But 0 to 60. That was it. That was just. I didn't know whether to laugh, smash something, and I just kept my composure and thought, well, we were never going to win the flag. We got to where we were. I sort of, was already disappointed, and I told you I came on here yesterday and said I was going to watch anyway because that's what I do. I'm a loyal person, and I think some changes they do need to be made, and hopefully they fucking are because this season was a waste.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to move on, Joel, but thanks for coming in, and we'll chat soon, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Yeah, mate. Hello, Costas. Was it Cook brought into the club to bring in a new culture on all levels? Thanks, BA community, for the support, as it's been hard to get through this. Thanks, Costas. Original 1551. I want Joel to step in for Voss at the presses. That'd be great. Dion, official stats for Corey Durden, high five, 65, disposals 4. Thanks, Dion. Hey, Connor. Connor, I will get you in. I've got quite a few people on this list, I'll get you in. Hey, young Zach Borg. Hello, mate.
Tez. Yeah, that is absolutely shocking. I mean, 70 point. I mean, well, sorry, it was 60-0 at was it quarter time? Was it
Something like that. Something like that. It was 60-0. I think at some point, maybe in the second. I don't really, to be honest.
Absolutely fucking disgraceful. Sorry about my language, but absolutely shocking. Sorry, Tez. The first mistake that the team selectors and Voss, well, it was on Voss actually, made was TDK as sub. Now, when he came on, right, we scored 32 points. Like we were playing better, and that's where the game was lost, in my opinion. Well, it wasn't in that area where it was just lost.
Yeah,
it was lost in a lot of areas, and Joe said it before, in a do or die situation, in a final, in a elimination final, they showed no heart. They showed no heart, and we made about 6 changes, Terry. You know, I think like we should have played, you know, at least one of Binns, Moya, and Cooper Lord, but you know, just stupid, absolutely stupid. Because, like, I don't know why Vossi would drop first of all, like all 3 of them, because they've been there for the last couple of weeks and they've actually built heart around the club. And then another selection change that I thought was pretty dumb was Alex Chincotta, because in that first quarter, Zorko destroyed us. Pretty much in that first half, he destroyed us. And then if that was Chincotta would have, you know, just stopped him and kept him quiet, and we actually would have, you know, had a tag. We did not have a genuine matchup for a half of footy.
Yeah. It was interesting. They ended up putting Ollie Hollins and tagging Zorko in that second half.
That was actually good. That actually worked out for a little bit.
It's funny what happens when you tag Zorko, hey?
Yeah, it is. I really thought Lewis Young's game was good today.
Yeah,
I really thought that
he played with like an aggression that I haven't seen him play with for years, mate.
I actually really liked him today. I think, you know, him and Weeders down back, you know, they were, you know, the ball kept coming in that first quarter, first half pretty much. And I really think that he, you know, he showed up and he was solid tonight. Well, with the I'm just going to put my some things that need to change. What I'm going to put out my thoughts. I think
Sure.
I think we need to get some trades happening. I think Motlop needs to go. Probably Jack Martin, by Marchbank, Cunningham, Sam Durden. You know, there's going to be a couple players. You know, we're going to trade, get some draft picks, probably get the Camperella brothers, and we just need to, you know, get a few small forwards. I think, and we just need to go to the draft, and we need to start playing next year. Binns, Lord, and Moya. We need to start. We need to play them. And we just need to, you know, build something next year, Tez, because every year we say this. Next year, ever since Teague's been there, next year. And how long was Teague there for? Probably, how long was he there for, Tez? About 2 years, 3 years?
If that, didn't even get through his 2 full years, yeah.
Exactly. And we said next year. Now, I don't think, Joel said it before, I don't think Voss needs to be sacked. It's not Voss. I think it's the players. Yep. I think, you know, Voss, you know, he needs to have the right people around him and the right assistant coaches. But we'll see, Tez.
All right, mate.
Well, I just want to say one thing. I want to say thank you for the fan cams. Thank you for everything that you do and all everything you do for the fans. And, you know, without us and without the community, we would be nothing. So, you know, this club, you know, and we get to share our thoughts every week, and we're here and we watch this club through, you know, a pretty shit show today and a shit show of a first half. So I'm going to let you go, Tej. You have You have a nice break. Have a good
Thanks,
night,
Zach.
Go Blues.
Thanks. Go Blues. Well, the boy becomes a man. Young Zach Borg. Hey, Maz, thanks for gifting 5 memberships to the people. Hey, Daniel, so predictable every week, and most supporters see it. Too many injury-prone players who keep getting games, and club hasn't had the balls to play the kids. Christine, that's a wrap for 2024. Well, such an honour to be part of this awesome community. Let's hope 2025, 30 years, brings something. Thanks, Christine. Ryan, never been on fan cams. How do I join? I've got a full waiting list right now, but I'm going to put the link in. You can just hold it there, save it. I'm happy to go as long as my mind and my brain allows me to tonight until I'm ready to pass out. So that's the link. Just hold off there. I've got a full list of people waiting here. So that's it there. Hey, Paul Sebastiani.
Terry, how are you, mate? How you going?
Down 10 goals in a fucking elimination final on the road, mate. That's how I'm going, mate.
That was probably the worst 60 minutes of football I've seen under Michael Ross and this playing group. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
That was the worst football I've seen us play. Yeah, there's no sugarcoating what happened tonight. We were horrendous from start to finish. And it all started during the week. And, the selection was baffling. Dropping Chincotta and then moving Ollie Holland to the bloke you would have put Chincotta on was baffling.
Make that one make sense.
Playing Tom De Koning as the ruck and then subbing Matt Kennedy off was just baffling. Although I will say we looked a little better when that move was made, but that's purely because Tom De Koning was actually on the ground. I think the way that they've treated Matt Kennedy, or the way that they treated Matt Kennedy in the lead up to this game, is nothing short of disgraceful. To pump him up the way they did and say, he's played a great role for us and he's been brilliant and he's filled a hole and we commend him, and then to drop him and sub him out 45 minutes into the game and bring on Tom De Koning in what was a tactical move only shows that the decision you made leading into the game was completely wrong. And they conceded defeat 45 minutes into the game as a set of coaches, and it was amateur hour today, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's more about individuals at this footy club than a team at the moment. So, but at least Sam Doherty got his goal. What does that mean? Does it mean anything? He was poor tonight, and the moment you cross the white line, you're ready. That's what we're always told. And he fumbled nearly every single ball he got hold of early in the match. He was poor. The mindset was just Control C, Control V. In the first 50 minutes of the game, we'd get the ball at half back. We'd get it defensive side of the centre square, and we'd just go long, shallow entries, and Brisbane would pick us off and go back the other way. And then with 50 seconds to go in the first quarter, when we probably should be managing the first quarter, we decide that we're going to go gung-ho. We nearly concede. So just amateur mindset. And, if you just look at this game in isolation, there's really nothing to be proud of after this effort. We've got more right than we have wrong this year, and that just is a fact based on the win-loss record. But if you look at the second half of the season, we've beaten teams that have been horrendous all year in Richmond, North Melbourne, and West Coast. And to drop Cooper Lord was a massive mistake. To drop Alex Chincotta was a massive mistake. 2 real energy givers in that team this season, and they were blokes who had actually turned our form around this year. Thought Adam Cerra was really poor tonight. Didn't like his game whatsoever. His stats and numbers mirrored exactly what Cooper Lord would have done. So I don't know why we continued to bring him back in. I actually thought he was less prepared for this game than what Sam Doherty was. But yeah, coaches need to be better. They were terrible tonight. If this game was in season, we'd have been throwing stuff at them from the rafters. So
oh wow, true.
Yeah, it was that first half was absolutely disgraceful. And I don't buy into the comeback.
No.
because
28
that's just
points was right at the end. Just
no. It
actually,
was the scoreboard
kind
flattered
of
us.
made me mad as well. Like,
No, the scoreboard flattered us, mate. And it's just amazing that the moment they started to go chaos and start to move the ball with flair and dare and go short with hands and really try to make it crazy for Brisbane defensively, that's when we started to look good. But the fact of the matter is we didn't do it from the start. And I don't know why. So, it's the last time this group's going to be together. They'll be making moves in the off-season. There's no doubt about that. There'll be 6 to 8 moves.
you think so? I hope. I mean,
yeah, well, players will be delisted and players will be traded. Cunningham, Marchbank, Martin, they're all gone.
I was just saying earlier, I hope that we don't get to a point where they say, okay, well, Rod McGuinness is coming in. Let's see what he can do with these injury-prone guys.
Yeah, I mean, and I looked at this week, and so earlier in the week, and we had a fantastic show on Tuesday night together. It was I think it was one of the best shows we've ever had together. It was a lot of fun, mate. It was good to get the old firm back together, us four, you, me, Mars, Rocco, just like old times, mate. It was good fun. Record show for 5 hours. We had a cathartic session. There was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of hope and optimism coming into the game. But then I felt as the week went on, just what I saw from the club, and then what I saw on Thursday night with selection, then what I saw leading into the game, and then what I saw 60 minutes before the game as we made TDK sub, I just did this icky feeling turned into a knot in the stomach, and then it turned into oh no, we're going to get our asses handed to us tonight. And I actually hadn't had a feeling like that all year. Usually I've been pretty optimistic and pretty confident coming into games, but tonight, everyone who asked me how we'd go, I just said, I go, mate, we will get done from pillar to post. And it was not out of me not having faith or a lack of faith in this team, because I have been pretty optimistic with us this year, but it's just another opportunity wasted, I feel, and the only way we'll see this as a wasted season is if we don't learn from it. But I mean, what do you learn from it? That's the question. The only true learning you have is, what did you believe coming into the season? What did you do going into the season? What happened during the season? And what do you now believe after the season? That's how you learn. So I just can't believe it was 60-0. That's just nowhere near the level, mate. The coaches are nowhere near the level. The players are nowhere near the level. Off-field is nowhere near the level, and it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a lot of little things right over a period of time for it to eventually compound. And the back end of the season was terrible.
It's actually, it is the exact reverse of last year.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
What did we lose? 7 of 9. Is that right? We lost 7 of our last 9. Is that right?
This year?
This year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We lost 7 of our last 9 games.
And one of them was a dogfight against North Melbourne, to quote Mars.
True.
We were down by 4 goals in that game. I think something like that. Look, and Vossi's, he's got a lot of things wrong in this second half of the year. And the players have got a lot to answer for in this second half of the year. And I'm not talking about players who are not there. I'm talking about the players who are there as well. And there's just the way in which we approach that first half of this game. I couldn't believe what I was seeing given the scenario and given the match, right? But then at the same time, I could believe it because I've seen that before. I've seen that story before. So people are going to aim at one department or one section of the club, right? It's everything. Everything needs to improve, mate. Everything needs to improve. High performance needs to improve. The players need to improve, whether that's youngsters becoming better, whether that's moving players on, whether that's making harsh trades, whether that's making harsh delistings, whether that's making harsh moves in the coach's box, whether that's moving on assistant coaches, whether that's getting in a new head of football, which I think really does need to happen. I don't think we have a strong figure at the head of football. He's got us to a point, Brad Lloyd, but I do think it's time to move on with regards to that. And then the players themselves just like they just didn't. How can you not apply yourself for the first 50 minutes? Like, what coach is it going to take for them to take the onus in that scenario? If it's not David Teague, if it's not Michael Voss, who is it going to be? Like I just see all the stuff. Continue to support them. We're strong.
We did.
I mean,
we did. We do. We do continue to support. It's fucked.
It's just, but to me, that's just so patronising, right?
It is patronising.
It really is patronising, and I feel that there is still a level of disrespect between both parties. Separating club and supporters, right? And I still see a lot of remnants of a very weak football club that they are getting upset, and they feel the need to comment on supporters being frustrated with mental weakness, right?
Mate,
that
says it all. That actually says
the first 60 minutes was a sign of mental weakness. The first 60 minutes was a sign of, well, hang on a minute, you're not switched on for the first 60 minutes of an elimination final when, how much more motivation do you need to move the ball with dare, to actually bring contest and pressure? People have forked out 4, 5, 6 times the amount of money for a regular flight up to Brisbane, have paid exorbitant amounts for accommodation, have paid exorbitant amounts for game day tickets, have spent money to support you and go up there. And that's what you give them for the first 50 to 60 minutes of the match. You know what I mean? And it was literally the same thing. It was a Control-C, Control-V for the first 60 minutes of the match. Yeah. And I was at a close mate's house, Matt, and I was going insane. I'm happy to lose if we have a go. Mm-hmm. If we attempt to move the ball with dare and try to come through the middle, or at least compete up the line, make it a bit chaotic. But there's nothing to be proud of this year. Nothing to be proud of. There are moments to be proud of, and I think there are individual performances and players to be proud of. But that's not That's not what great football clubs do. That was what we were talking about when Cripps came onto the scene, because we were shit. Yeah.
When Charlie came onto the scene because we were shit. It's oh god, are they really going to be rolling out individual improvements throughout the year?
Well, do you know what my fear is? My fear is it's going to be a complete and utter wank fest if Patrick Cripps wins the Brownlow.
Oh god,
that's my biggest worry, is that if he wins the Brownlow, we're just going to hang our hat and hold on to that for 6 months of the preseason, which is not where we need to be as a football club. We should be celebrating collective moments over a prolonged period of time, not individual moments over a sporadic period of time, which is what's happening with us as a club at the moment. Look, we will always be, there will always be a wave of emotions and a wave of reactions with all of us as fans, right? And as followers of the game and analysts of the game. We will always be like that. But eventually they've got to grow up as a club. And eventually they've got to not really worry about being lambasted for poor performances. Because like I said, if you're worried about what young girls and young boys are saying about you, well, what happens when someone who's 6'3" out on the football field, who's pumped up on adrenaline and testosterone, is calling you every name under the sun and is about to go get that TW Sharon that you want?
This is the thing, though. I don't know if the players actually do care. I think there's other people.
No, they do care. Of course they care.
No, as in of those comments that are being made. Oh. There's a team within the club that care more about what people are fighting on Twitter, which is a cop.
Yeah,
but there's a disconnect between your people, and you don't know how to communicate to your people, which is why you see spillover.
Yeah, but that's also a chasm into the deeper standards of the club as well. as a playing group too, So, and the players do care. There's no doubt about that. They do care. But the question is, do you care enough as a collective? That's the question. And look, not to be buzzed up and fuzzed up by what and where we have come from. We have improved as a football club. There's no doubt about that. From since Michael Voss has taken over, we've become a better football club, and we've had some amazing moments as fans last season and as a team. But how do you harness all that and continue to get better? We've plateaued this year.
Yeah,
we've plateaued, and that's been really disappointing because we're in a great position where it looks like we hadn't plateaued. We'd taken off, and our form was fantastic.
Yeah.
After we had who did we play before GWS? After the Richmond game, we thumped them and really give them a hiding. And then after that, the tactical and application side of things from players and coaches just dipped, right? And then the moment that started to dip, all the bodies started to go down. So everything's compounded, bang. And then you're trying to play catch up. And then once that happens, it's all over. Yeah. So some baffling decisions in coming into this game. The coaches got a lot wrong.
Yeah, they did.
They got a lot wrong today. So again, this is the final time that this 44, 45 will play together. And to me, this is a lot of this is on the players, and we need to improve this list because it's got us to a point, and now we need to find 4 or 5 wins. 4 or 5 wins. We've got our base. We know where our floor is, and now we need to find that extra level. And I'll tell you now, there's nothing to be proud of. It's nothing to be proud of this year. Yeah. It's another tough lesson to be learnt, but I just hope that they actually learn it, and I hope that we all learn it and continue to push them because the way we finished the season and this match in particular was horrendous and nowhere near good enough. So before I go, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done this season with this particular venture, the fan cams. I know it's been great for Patches, and it's been bloody tough for Patches as well. But I want to commend you and thank you for everything you've done this season. I know there will be plenty of videos to come in the off season, and that first training report you and I do for 2025, I think is going to be a fun one, even though there's a bit of a bitter taste.
No, mate,
season.
We're not allowed to do training reports because,
Try me. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid.
Again,
5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Training report, mate. But it's all right though, because they
again. I would. Yeah.
I'm actually getting mad now.
No, don't get mad. No. You're like, get mad, but we have. You've got to be effective in the way in which you hold them into account, and then attempt to get better. Because the only thing we can do is you've just got to get better, right? And how you react in that way will determine. Get angry.
Yeah.
Standards are not acceptable, right? That's okay. Everyone's going to react the way that they're going to react, right? But now we need to just get so much better as a footy club. And I'm talking like every department, like everywhere. Players, coaches, high performance, the whole lot. Everything. Again, commend and thank you for everything you've done for all of us this season. None of it goes astray, mate. We are appreciative and we're grateful for everything you've done. And big off season coming up.
Thanks, mate.
Much love, mate.
See you in Melbourne.
You will indeed, mate. Safe flight back to sending all the love.
Ciao, mate.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Oh, I'm getting so mad. Tim P. 4 decent players short, 1 system team, terrible selections. Thanks to BA for all the hard work. Thanks, Tim. Hey, Dynamic, my wife and a few of the girls here would like to know if there's any chance of an only fan cams at some stage. Sure. We can set something up. Have some fun with it. Hey, Shannon.
Oh, my God. How's the weather?
It's fucking great. It's great. Yeah.
How's the fucking weather? I think that's about the only thing going for us at the moment. Fuck me. So
Oh my
G'd
God.
up for today. So G'd up. And then to see us not even score, I was messaging so many people going, are we even going to fucking score in this half? Like, are we actually going to score? We actually were a dead set chance to not score a single point for a half of football. That's where we were at. And I'm just like, for fuck's sake, I can't deal with them anymore. Thank fuck that's over because I want to enjoy my summer.
Well, yeah.
Like, it's gotten to the point now where we go into games and we're like, well, what are we going to get today? Like, what Carlton is going to turn up? Like, are we going to get a Geelong style Carlton, or are we going to get the shit that they dished up in that first 50 minutes?
You know what's
Yeah.
you know what's sickening too?
Well,
When they kicked a couple in the third, I really
I know.
thought that was it.
I know. I go to my mate. We couldn't, could we?
Yeah. Ugh.
Are we that gullible? We're that gullible, aren't we?
Well,
Like,
that's
oh my God.
it's part of the
I don't know
problem.
anymore, Tez. I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to seeing what these list changes are going to be because we need to make some wholesale changes fast. Like, I know there's a lot of there's a lot of players there that have been fringe players for quite some time, and I feel horrible for Caleb Marchbank because he's copped it his entire career, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that it may be we've seen him for the last time, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a couple who have just not been able to get their bodies right. Marchie's just, I mean, some of the injuries he's had, super unlucky.
He's had concussion for a month.
Yeah, you feel for him, but I mean, the scary thing about the club, we said this on Tuesday on the Jumper Punch, had this moment of realization that the reality is we could not win a flag for another 30 years, and we would still be a profitable club. That's the harsh, dark reality, you know.
Yeah. Well, we keep breaking membership records year in, year out at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
we've just, every year we've just seemed to get more members. And to end the season, the last 10 weeks, the way we did, it hurts because we were second. And you have all these Collingwood supporters and all these other supporters potting us on social media going, oh, we won the flag in June.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be put in the same basket as Essendon. Like, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, we made finals, but I don't know if we really, in reality, probably shouldn't have been there. We were just, at the end of the day, I reckon we're just lucky that Port Adelaide got the job done because they were putrid. They were putrid on Thursday night, and it's unfortunate because we rode such a massive high at the start of the year. And to end it the way we did, like I would have at least liked a little bit more of a fight.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Oh well.
I don't know.
It's good to see you.
At least at least we got to see him at an open training session on Saturday last week.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah. How many did we have in Melbourne this year? 4?
Well, open training sessions, I think so.
Yeah. 4 open
And-
training sessions. 5, 4, yeah.
Something like that. But and we still have people turning out to all of them. And there was heaps of people yesterday at the captain's run at the Gabba, from what I saw. So look, we still come out in number, and we're still going to come out in number for this football club, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I know that all 106,000 members will do next year. We'll be there round 1, March, whenever it'll be. Probably won't get around 0 gig, which would be nice, but we'll be there in force. And let's just hope that something changes over the summer, and instead of going backwards, like some people have said, we go back up, because we as a fan base deserve to see success. Because you and I have been starved of it, Tez, our whole lives.
Thanks, Jen.
No
Love
worries,
you.
Tez. Chat soon.
See ya. Rocket.
Tez, how are you, mate?
Frustrated.
Yeah, look, so first of all, I've got a few things written down here, but the first thing I wanted to ask was, you were there tonight. What was it like? It was hard to hear the crowd.
Can I just get you to put the
It was
camera
ha-
up
it
so
was-
I can see you? Sorry, mate. I want to see you. I can't.
Sorry, it's
There we
a
go.
different view to what I have. Sorry, mate. So, what was it like to be there? What you know, like, is 60-0, like, were our fans up and about? Like, it
Yeah.
felt quiet for the first half, to be honest.
Oh, no, mate. It was anything but. I mean, I thought the first 10, 15 minutes of the game was high intensity. We were into it. The crowd was ready. The reality was we just conceded 10 straight goals. And it just chips away at you. But I mean, the way the crowd got ready for that game to start, it was electric.
And the Blues in the crowd, like, what sort of percentage were we? Like, you know, like,
Enough. We were
enough.
loud enough. Yeah, we was definitely loud enough.
All right. So look, I mean, Voss has been saying, like, I feel like Voss has a long view with this club. You know, like, if you listen to him in his press conferences, you know, tonight he was talking about the fact that we didn't have the consistency this year as a team, and he said as a club, but he reiterated as a team for long enough to represent at the level when it counts in September, and he's been saying that for a while, and I think he's right. You know, like, you know, I think he's got a long view. I don't think this is the end of days for the Carlton Football Club, but you know, I'm an MCC member, and I went to the game last night, and to watch Hawthorn. You know, that's a team in a hurry, and Sam Mitchell looks like a really talented coach, and he looks like a coach who has managed to capture the imagination of that team and get them ready for battle at the pointy end of the season in a hurry. And, you know, I wish that our team would hurry up and be good, because, like, we have been waiting for a long time. I haven't spoken to you for a couple of years, Tez. I don't know if you remember me, but I spoke to you in the Teague days, and you know, we you know, the conversation at that time was like, you know, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark. Like, what the hell is going on with our football club? And then Voss came in and Cook came in. This is not those days. You know, like, we have won consistently significant numbers of games in successive years, and we are at the pointy end. We should have been at the pointy end this year. I went to Europe in July and watched us on Watch AFL against GWS, and we were up 6-0 in the first quarter, and that was the beginning of the end. You know, but at that point, at quarter time in that game, we looked like serious contenders for the pointy end of September, and that's where we need to be now. Like, where we were there was where we need to be now. So what's gone wrong? You know, like, I listened to your callers tonight. Like, selection this week was just an absolute furphy. I don't know what Voss was doing. Like, we had a really competitive spirit over the last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I think that Cooper Lord should have played. I think we would have been better tonight if Cooper Lord had played. I think Jackson Binns should have been running down the wing. I think we would have been better. You know, I think Chincotta obviously needed to have played. I think we needed to have rewarded some of the spirit that we'd shown over the last couple of weeks. You know, and that spirit brought rewards. And look at what we had in the first 60 minutes of that game. Like, you know, they talk about us being a team built on pressure, and there was zero pressure in that first half.
Yeah.
There was zero run. We were not bringing the noise.
You mentioned the
And,
word. I interrupted there.
60 points to 0. Jesus H. Christ, mate. Sorry.
No, just you touched on a point when you were talking about the Hawks, and you said that Mitchell's got them inspired. I really like that. And for whatever reason, we didn't play like an inspired team. I went to that game last night, and they are so sure of what they're doing. Even when it doesn't come off, they're sure of what they're doing. They don't allow time to pass before they make a decision. And they really cover their defense with quick ball movement. I don't think they're necessarily... No, they do have fast players by foot, but they move the ball quickly. They make decisions quickly.
They're well coached. Like, they spread the
coached,
ground.
organised.
They
Yeah.
spread the ground better than any team I've ever seen. Like, you know, like, everyone knows that Hawthorn plays every inch of the ground, but to watch it, like, I sat up on level 3 specifically to watch it. Like, to watch it, they spread as soon as they get the ground, as soon as they win the ball. Right? Like, I was watching it tonight. I was like, where are we going to kick to? So many times we'd won the ball, it was static, we kicked down the line. Like, what is that? You know?
Yeah.
And our answer to that is like chaos ball. All right, let's try to handball our way through. No, you know, let's spread. We have targets down the wing. You know, Akers plays tall. We have Harry Mackay that can run up. Like let's spread the ground. Let's be well coached. And to that point, what the hell is Voss doing? Like, coaching on the ground in the first quarter of a final. Like, I'm sorry, that's not where I want my coach to be in the first quarter of a final. I want him to be working out what's going on, hearing everything that's happening in that room, and being a strategic coach. I don't care how good Hansen is or whatever. You know, you're not a man manager. You're our senior coach. I want you you upstairs, mate. You know.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I do hope that Cripper wins the Brownlow, and I think he does deserve it. I think he's had a huge year. I think it could be shared with 3 players this year. It could be a 4-way tie. Either way, he's been enormous this year, Cripper. You know, like, if we were to win this year or next year and he was to hold the cup up, he would be one of the greatest players of all time, Cripper. You know, of all time. Like, he has been huge for our club. But where the fuck where's his mates? You know, like, all right, great to have Doc in, but, you know, it didn't really influence tonight. Where's his mates? Like, where is his cultural mates that are bringing the noise in times like that first half when we're getting smashed by 60 points to 0, right? 60 points to 0. It was embarrassing, mate, to sit in the pub as a Carlton supporter with my top on, right? Right?
Sitting around biscuit ass watching us 10 down by 10 goals, mate, in a final.
Right. Where's his mates? Like, we need to trade for that. We need to draft for that. We need, like, hardcore leadership. You look at that Sydney game today. Can you believe that we could have had Papley in our forward line? I mean, what would it have cost for us to have Papley in our forward line? You know, another 80 grand, another 100 grand. You know, Papley is the Swans forward line because he brings the noise. You know, we did not bring the noise for a half we'd been given a free kick to get in there. Like, we were playing in freaking house money, mate. You know, we did not bring the noise tonight and for the first half. And that is a failure of leadership from the coaching group. The players need to have a good look at themselves. This is a final, guys. You have to bring pressure. Pressure's free, you know, and to watch how freely Brisbane kicked goals in that first half and how desperately we tried to, like, peg them back in the last half. It was just laughable, and very sad.
Yeah.
Look, I do want to end where I started in the sense that, like, Voss does have a long view, and you know, if you look at Geelong and if you look at our past, you know, it does come with experience. You know, this year conspired against us with our injuries, and thank God that's behind us, hopefully now. And like last year, we went on a run. This year, we fell off a run. Let's, Voss is talking about consistency, and I think that's right. And, I think 25, 26, 27, 28 can be good for our football club. We have a very, very good foundation and a good base. And we need to just keep the line. I'm 52, Terry, and I watch your channel all the time, mate, and I hear this division between the haves and the have-nots. I have 6 premierships in my lifetime, mate. 72, 79, 81, 82, 87, 95. I have 6 premierships from the ages of 0 to 23. I have nothing from the ages of 23, when I really knew what football was all about, until 52. So, I feel your pain just like you feel your pain, mate. And those teams that were running out in the early days, they would not have gone 60 to 0, mate. That is leadership on field. That is not putting up with almost good enough, right?
Yeah.
Truly.
Well
Truly. We have to be at the pointy end of this conversation, mate.
Well said.
So, love this club, and I believe that we are not far away. This year we were very close, right? Like in round 15 this year,
All right, I'm just going to
triple premiership favourites.
Yeah. Rocket, that was brilliant. That's what that was. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts, mate.
Good on you, mate. Thank you. And stick fat. We'll be good.
We will. Thanks, mate.
Take care.
See ya. Casper. It's kind of funny how the Blues have smashed Geelong by 63 or so, and yet the Cats are into a prelim and the Blues don't even make a semi. Not a Cats fan. Yeah, that's an indictment on what happened. That's for sure. Hey, Jad.
Des, you doing all right?
Not really. Not really.
Yeah, bro. I want to try and have a mature discussion with you, man. I don't want to get emotional and all that shit. I just think this group is done, and I think this current iteration of the club is done. I just think it's all fucking finished. 8 years. We're 8 years into this build. This group has had a long enough time together now. What more do you need to see? I just think this group's fucking done together, man.
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing now is a failed rebuild, and I think what this year, what it feels like now is we're seeing all the stopgaps that we tried to plug fall apart. So we're seeing Hewitt in the midfield. We're seeing players like Zach Williams, and I just think we got these sort of players because we failed in our drafting. So we tried to buy and plug and play, and it just hasn't come off. I think that's what we're seeing. That's why it feels so desolate now. Like Mitch McGovern, I just think with all these guys, I just think we're done with them now. We're paying out the ass for some of these players, and we're just not getting the return. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of defending it. I'm sick of trying to be positive just for positive's sake. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of going against my gut with this whole direction the club's heading in. I can't do it anymore. I can't go against what I feel anymore. I'm finished with it, man.
No, that's fair. So in that case, as in when you say you feel like it's done, so as in it's done, as in
I would be
blow it up, get picks in, is it unsalvageable? You know what I mean? Is it
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel it's unsalvageable with this current list because that performance today, right, that will live on in finals folklore, I feel. Every team from now until the end of time will reference how we prepared for this game and how we selected for this game. Today was a stark warning of how not to go into a final. Those coaches and everyone in that selection committee and the captain, because he has a say as well, they embarrassed us today, Terry. And I'm not saying that lightly. Like every week, like when we lose, it was embarrassing. No, but this is
No,
embarrassing to its core.
That was
To its core, it's embarrassing.
Man, I was looking over at the big bay of Carlton supporters in that forward flank / pocket, like down 10 goals to down 60-0, and I see people with like hands on heads, and it's just like you're looking amongst it, and it's just so cruel, so cruel. And then and then you get told how you should and shouldn't be reacting when things aren't to the standard, when all we did was continue to back them, even when they went into their funk this year. Most continued to say, you know what, they have matured, we'll give them a chance. And they just, oh man, it was so poor.
It was Terry.
It does, mate. It rocks the foundations.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like what happened today, you can't recover from that. Not with everyone who was on the field today. You can't. How can you? You just embarrassed yourself. Not just like amongst each other. You embarrassed yourself to the league. Within the league, they will talk about this night. How could they select Doherty? How could they bring in 6? How could they name TDK to sub? How could they drop their best negating player when you've got players like Zorko and Neil? Like it, bro. This will live on, and all for all the fucking wrong reasons. And to answer your question before, I would be happy if the club came out in the off-season and declared the next 2 years to be regenerative years. I would be happy for them to come out. I know, it's fucked. But I would be happy for them to come out and be honest and say it, because I'm still going to renew my membership. Like, that's not going to change. I am so sick of being misled, man. I can't. I'm sick of it. I can't be misled anymore. I'm so sick of putting my blind faith in this club, and it just can't happen. Just please be honest. Come out, declare the next 2 years regen years. Next year, Binns, Moya, who else? Give them the year. We can't go forward with this group anymore. We just cannot.
So then, what, are you trading all of them?
No. You try. I reckon you just trade out the fringe. Whoever is keeping those young kids out, you either let them understand they will not be first pick next year, or you trade them. If they don't like it, you trade them. Because, man, look, I'm telling you, like I
just can't see how any club with the group that we've got would come out next year and not try and win a flag. You know, because I think to your point, right? I think that point happened in, what was it, 20, when we drafted Weeders and that, and the next year we drafted Fisher and whatnot. Like, we could see that their bodies just weren't capable of playing out a game and playing out 4 quarters, and we're putting games into them. So that part, I think we all understood. But to go back to that point, I mean, you don't want the club to strive because you don't want them. I mean, they are trying to win a flag. They're not, you know, they're not trying to win it. The way they're doing it may be questioned, but I don't think it's fair to say that they're not trying to win the thing.
No, I do think they're trying. Where I think it's gone wrong is I think their whole philosophy to the modern game is wrong. I believe there's a fundamental problem to the philosophy in which we approach the modern game. Clearly. And that leads into the coaching. How long this year do we have to watch long down the line 50-50 low percentage rubbish? Like, how long do we have to watch that? And that's just not how the modern game is played. And then I watch a team like Hawthorn, And I've heard Hawthorn be brought up all night tonight. Rightly so, but you want to know the difference between us and Hawthorn, or where I believe the difference is? Why we will never be Hawthorn? Because we would have sacked Sam Mitchell last year.
Mm.
We would have sacked him. We crumble at any external sort of criticism. And I know this is controversial. I'm starting to think that getting rid of Bolton was the beginning of the end.
Wow.
Fucking insane.
The turnaround
Everything's
was
easier in hindsight, I know. But I'm just thinking, man, they were honest with what they were doing. They were steadfast, and they just crumbled when the results didn't come. And but we didn't expect the results to come at that time.
Oh,
And that's why,
no,
like, if we were Hawks, we would have.
no. I think 2019 that was why, because it was 3 wins from 44 games, and that started playing against them because the pressure started coming externally from the fan base and the media, and that's why we did it. It was maybe a sign of a not a strong board and not a strong administration.
Yeah, exactly. And I just feel as a club, we are always missing a trick. We are always missing the final piece, the right thing to do at the last hurdle. So they're not going to sack Voss. I really think Voss will be there 6+ years. Okay. But when you've chosen Voss over Kingsley, and I don't want to make this about that, but this is just so typical, right? So we chose Voss over Kingsley, right? Kingsley was known as the best tactician, upcoming tactician, modern day coach, understands the way the modern game is played. And we decided to go for a coach who's been sacked already, right? And I just look across the league. When has that ever worked for anyone? When has a club ever appointed a previously sacked coach and had success with them? It just never happened. And I'm a believer in trends. It doesn't happen, man. So I don't understand what we were thinking. Why? What made you choose the failed one over the one who was up and coming? And look at where they are now. Look at how he coaches. Look at how he sits in the box and gets on the phone and actually makes fucking demands.
Yeah.
Like, you get what you fucking deserve. You get what you deserve. And we're always doing these sorts of things. And then my last point, Cripper, right? I just want to be frank. Is his leadership style, does that come across as what the group needs, the way he leads?
Mm.
Because I know we're on the outside and we don't know what goes on in there, but from what we get, right, it's okay, boys. The chapters are still to be written. Our story's not done. It's not over. Many more chapters to be written this year. I just don't think it's the right method.
There was an interesting bit of insight when, and I think we've got the right leadership group with Cripps, Wiedering in particular. The reason why I say that, there was a comment that Wieders made when he was on 360 a few weeks ago, and he was talking around about, Cripps is the ultimate optimist. That's him. He's an optimist. And that's what gets him through. And he's like, sometimes he needs someone to be a bit of a realist. And I think that's what Wiedering is. I think Wiedering, you need a good cop, bad cop, so to speak, right? I don't look at it as just Cripps I know he's the captain and he's the figurehead, and externally we see him in number 9. But I do think there's a better balance now that Wiedering started to really come into this part of his career. But I did take note of that comment that he made. And to be honest, if Cripps wasn't the optimist, he probably would have left the club.
And see, that's my worry. Is he only like that because he needs to be for himself? Can he not bring himself to the realization that he perhaps should have left and saved his career in a way? So he has to buy into believing in that sort of thing. I've got to be positive, got to be positive, got to be positive.
Well, if he left, he would have gone to West Coast, and look what would have happened.
Yeah. But I'm just talking to his mindset. Is he just like, does he believe that we can do it, or is it just a coping thing? I think it's a fair question because
Ask him.
I'm gonna find him.
I think you're frustrated and not
I'm
thinking.
trying to find answers.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
trying to make sense of it because,
Yeah, I
bro,
know.
we've all sat through 8 years, and I really don't think there's a way forward unless we regenerate. Just a mini one. I'm happy for them to say it.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them to say it.
Well,
Please be honest with me, please. Like, I can't. I'm sick of feeling this way, and then I see the shit that comes out, and then I convince myself that it's going to be okay and there's hope. I don't think we've got the right coach. I just do not think he suits the modern game. I just don't. And then the players, they're done. But who knows? We could win the flag next year, and then we're replaying this, and I'm happy. But
you got your collars back on, you dirty dog.
I'm so sad, Terry.
I think we're all damaged goods.
Yeah.
So, hey man, I love you. So,
I love you too. Enjoy your night, whatever you're going to go do. Bye.
All right, man. Fucking love Jad. Marcello, Ella.
That's a sick head there.
Yeah.
How are ya? No, not you, mine.
Oh.
Dawn Adelaide, how you going?
10 goals.
Tell me something I didn't tell you.
I know.
I don't want to be that person, bro. I don't want to be that person.
Logic said we weren't winning. I knew what the logic was telling me. It was just
your hope again.
Yeah, on the off chance that the miracle was going to happen, I just wanted to be here for it. Like just sick.
It was vomit. It was just straight. It was putrid. It was Utrox. It was everything. The most disgusting and senile words you can think of. That's what it was. They didn't give a yelp. But how can you go into a final with practically, let's say, nearly your best 22, bar Charlie? I don't know. Who else was missing? Tell me who. I don't know anymore. Right? And they weren't even engaged. They weren't locked in from the word go.
I just can't believe how they weren't able to match the intensity for long. That maybe 12 minutes, it was like intense, and then it just completely fell away.
Well, I did say it. The writing was on the wall from like how long ago? Let's go 6-7 weeks ago, right? I mean, we were in the top 4 until round 20. Yeah. Round 21, we exited the top 4, right? With injuries, and I keep saying it, with injuries, right? Because people are going to use this as the excuse all year. Injuries. But the injuries didn't really play its part and take its toll until, all right, say the last couple of rounds, yeah? And then even that Hawthorn game, we were getting murdered before the injuries hit in that game. And as Voss said, want to be a more consistent team, and this is his theme for this year, which is fair enough. We do want to become a more consistent team. But you can't come out and just play one quarter every single game of hot footy.
Yeah.
And, you're travelling up to the Gabba. You can't. It's hard to replicate what we did at the start of the year, at the end of the year, with the form that we had going into the finals. And this is what I said is that at the live show, I said it to Heat, I'm like, how hard is it to flip that form going into the finals? I'm like, you can be ever optimistic and saying, yeah, we're going to get him back. We're going to get him. We're going to get Doherty back. He's like a leader on the field. But, mate, let's not beat around the bush, man. Doherty, he wasn't ready. TDK as the sub, I mean, what message does that send? He's not ready. He played 50% game time on field. You've got, Chera, fuck. What's he being brought over to this club for? Is he meant to give extra grunt in the midfield? And I'm baffled by him. I know he's been in and out of the team all year due to injury, hamstrings, whatever. I don't want to just slam him because as a whole team, the performance was not up to it. It was abject. It's probably the worst game of footy I've watched for the year.
I feel fearful in thinking that it could just be about continuity for bodies.
Yeah.
And that creeping in.
But do you use that as the excuse, and every time somebody goes out, you go, "Oh, we don't have him this week. Oh, we don't have that this week."
No, it's no. More so because even when they are in, I have now my foundations rocked that we're just a team of really talented players that gets us across the line because of the brilliance
of
and
some
I thought
games. Yeah.
3-4 week patch where we had double-digit goal kickers, I thought, there it is. We started opening up something else. I don't know what to think about the club and the team.
Well, I hate the messaging from the club as well. Is like, we need the fans. It's always about the fans. We're there. Oh, how many times have I said it? We're always going to be there.
Yeah.
Whether you're there or the next person comes along and the next board comes along, we're always going to be there. Whatever, you're always going to grow in membership, popularity. It's just the club we are. You're always going to get 80, 90. Now it's just on an upwards trajectory. That's how it's going to be, right? We get that. But I'm over the messaging, like the Walsh thing, like we need the fans. Bro, we're there. How many times can you tell me you're going to be there? Like, I love Sicily last. Yeah.
We need them.
We need the correct. We need you to perform, lock in for 4 quarters. Just lock in. How hard is it to stay engaged in a 120-minute game where your life is on the line and it's a battle, a war of attrition, and they can't lock in mentally. They're not good enough. And this is what I was saying, is that I don't think they're good enough for long enough, and they've shown it all year that they're not good enough for long enough mentally. And I don't know if it's coming from the top down. They're not instilling this like not belief or faith or just a winning mentality. Like, it's not good enough. Like, Voss in the media, he was a bit, like he was all right, but he's like, consistency. Then we talked about Doherty. To be honest, I don't care. I don't care about your feel-good stories. The feel-good stories are when you win the grand final. Right now, I want you to come out and practically say, we're just not good enough. We're not good enough as a football team as a whole. Obviously, he's not going to come out and say that. He's going to protect his players and do whatever he has to do. But, I know people are going to come out and say, Walsh, where's he been? The Cooper Lord dropping, I thought, was stiff. Even though, you played against West Coast and St Kilda, I thought he's been pretty good. I thought he was probably the only one that should stay in. Kennedy, when you took him off as a sub, that was bizarre. I don't know what you made of it. Like, when you found out that he was off the ground, what did you make?
It was funny because I saw DeConing come on, but I didn't see who he came off for. I didn't know who was subbed. And there was barely any reception. So, like, we were guessing. And I'm looking around like, oh, it must have been Durden because I couldn't see Durden. I'm like, yeah, fair. I haven't seen much of Durden. And then I was like, oh, no, there's Durden. Who was the other one? I'm like, oh, it must have been Fantasia. Must have been. And then when I landed on Kennedy, I was like, what?
I looked and I just laughed. I laughed. I actually, to be honest, the whole first half, I laughed.
And then Pito goes down. I thought Pito had a knee. I don't know what happened.
No, he copped a massive knee to his rib cage.
Oh, okay. Because that looked awful. And then all of a sudden, game's over and Pito's clunking marks, kicking goals.
I was like, I'm like, just stop kicking goals, because low key, I had the line bet on. I had the line bet on from the Sunday night that we'd get belted. So, right? But in saying that, right, you know what I didn't like as well? Newman at the end of the game. People are going to go, oh, yeah, he showed a bit of fight, and that's what. But I didn't like that. That was sore loser mentality out there. Just dumb, going around, getting into fights with people, throwing his elbow into Lockie Neal's into his throat. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? Like, if you're going to show me that, do it at the start of the game when you're 0-0 and get into him. Not start throwing elbows, picking fights with kids and, seriously, I know you want to be a tough guy and everything. And trust me, you know me, I love that, come out and, give us some, but do it within reason. At the end of the game, when it absolutely means nothing, and then I don't know anymore with this team. I just don't think they have it mentally. They don't have it. They need something end of the year. I don't know, just shell shock them. You know what
Is it them or is it the club? You know how we were talking on Tuesday about? I mean, listen, this is the reality of it. They've got 16 flags. I'm zooming out high level. Like, why would we be desperate for more flags? We've already got 16.
Do we? We're not acting like
you know
it.
what I'm saying? Like we've already built this big machine. It's going to be profitable year on year out. You can bring in
business
metrics every year to say, yep, I did my job and got better this year because we got more engagement here, or we made more money here, or whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, winning games is important, but your fans won't. No one's cancelling memberships and no one's not showing up.
No.
So
No. We don't care.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, of course. I think they've got it all wrong. I really do. Off field, I don't know. They've got it right. They've got it right, but they've got it wrong. You know what I mean? They're the best PR team in the comp.
So much more to fix, man.
Best PR team in the comp. Like, number one business club. It's ridiculous, right? The stats would say growth here, growth there, on field, off, whatever. But we as fans, and this is where I go, as a whole collective of fans, we need to expect more and demand more from this team now. There's no more fucking excuses, beating around the bush, saying, oh, they've got injuries, this or this plays. No. You got to stop that. We've got to stop moving goalposts. You keep the goalposts there. And if you fail, you admit it. We're not good enough. Simple as that. If we didn't get it through the big sticks, we're not good enough. We just got to expect more and demand more. And I was watching Sicily after the game last night, and Gary Lyon, he asked him the question, can you win the grand final? His response was, we'll give it a crack. Why can't we? Perfect response. If Cripps was asked that after the game tonight, if we won, was never going to happen, but if we won, his response would have been, we just have to look forward to next week. Well, that's what I think he would have said.
I agree. The process.
And that's the mentality of Sam Mitchell and the club of Hawthorn, because I don't know if they're past us or level with us. I don't know, right? But that just shows me the mentality of Sam Mitchell and what he instills in his leaders. We got this Goliath in Patrick Cripps where we go, I feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't. All of the fans that went up there tonight, I don't feel sorry for you. If we're going to feel sorry for everybody in this club, we're going to stay where we are because everyone feels sorry for each other.
No, don't feel sorry for no one.
I don't. And I don't feel sorry for myself anymore. Pay $1,000, suck it up. You got to expect more and demand more. That's what I'm going with now because I want more now. I want more. I want more bang for my buck because I ain't getting no returns. It was great. Yeah, we made finals, whatever. But is that what we come to now? So anyway, I know there's another million people in the chat and want to get on. And so there's plenty of other people. I'll have my say for 5 hours and I'll go ballistic on Tuesday. So catch it. Terry, I don't know how you're going to do this for another 2.5 hours or whatever, but take care, go out, get some sleep, get home safe, yeah? See you soon.
Thanks, bro.
Ciao.
Yeah. Mason.
Hey, Terry, how we going?
We're going, mate. We're going.
Fuck. Yeah, that's just a disappointment from start to finish, wasn't it? I feel, yeah, like the last guy said, you can't feel bad for anyone now, but I fucking feel you, man. I feel for you.
No. As in, it's all a choice. It was all a choice. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'd written something down here while I was on the plane on the way. Right.
Beautiful.
It's so funny. I had this moment on the flight up, and I met some people, at the airport. They came up, said hello. They watched the channel and they thanked me, and just had a moment to just think like, wow, so many people who have appreciated what the channel does and whatever. And I was thinking deep about the impact, and then I wrote here in my notes at maybe 1 p.m. thinking this deep about that impact, all for a 10-goal loss. It could be over in 20 minutes. But it's the chance that something special is about to happen, which fuels me to be here.
Oh, fuck. Why would you even type that? You've written that into existence. Yeah. Oh, get shit, can't. Sorry. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Again, week by week, we're gonna fucking go. And we're gonna scream. And I was like you. I looked over at my mates when I saw it 3/4 time. We were 5 goals off. I said, "Oh shit, we can. There's some magic here that we can pull through, and we might be able to do it." And how fucking stupid. I want to start it off by just saying thank you.
No, it's all good,
mate. You've brought not only joy, but something to look forward to even after a loss. And I can't imagine it's the most enjoyable thing for you have to do after a loss like tonight and the last 6-7 weeks that we've had. So thank you for providing these shows and sticking to this routine, because it gives us something to look forward to. And, although we lose, I love coming on and having a laugh and getting angry with everyone, and it's good fun. So thank you. And I know Pom might watch this, but to Pom as well, unreal support and dedication. We appreciate it, seriously. But yeah, look, it's just that first half, the first quarter. I'm like, there's absolutely no way we don't even fucking get a point on the board.
Yeah.
Like nothing to show for it. I knew 5-6 minutes into the game, I said, this is it. We'll hang on. If that, we just don't have the heart to get it. Obviously you keep that hope, but ultimately poor decision-making from our coaching, our team management to have Kennedy fly over with a newborn baby and wife sitting at home to get pulled off in the first half of the game. That breaks your heart, man. You could just see him on the bench there, just miserable. And for what? To pull him off for, Durden to get 4 touches the whole game? For Motlop to do fuck all? I don't know, man. Yeah. It just seems like the most, Carlton way to finish the season. It just breaks your heart.
It does break your heart.
It's not fair.
It's just I didn't want to believe that after 11-4, it would be a complete fall off. Like
180.
Every other club in the 8 had their dip and then rediscovered their whatever they needed to learn or rediscover or whatever. And we didn't do it.
Couldn't do it. We couldn't. I know we were unfortunate with teams with injuries, and you got to fucking throw that away.
We were definitely unfortunate with injuries. I mean, especially the last few, but I guess it's just a reminder. I mean, when they are healthy and when they are in the team, we weren't good enough for long enough.
At all. You can't even expect to play finals when week on weekend,
Yeah.
you can't play full 4 quarters of a game, or at least attempt to. Like, last year, after our, just before we started our big 9 or 10 win streak that we had, we were playing like our lives depended each week by week, and when we started that win streak, we didn't believe we even had a chance, but we went out there because that's what we owed to the club and to our fans. And it just felt like 11-4, you get that big head, and then just a dip of like just the dive, just the direct pin drop, just something's got to change. I don't know. I'm 23 years old. I haven't been watching this all that long, but so I don't know what to do. I know some guys have been saying it's not Voss. It is Voss. It's our dedication. It's our, effort. What needs to change? Do we give these young guns? Do we give these kids a chance? Do we say fuck it? This year we're gonna test. Like the last guy said, give them a year to see how they go. Like, do we do that? Do we, mass exodus these fucking shitty, just 1 game a year, 2 game a year players? And what do we like? I know
it's a cycle, man. It's a perpetual cycle. These are the same conversations we had years ago when we were saying play Josh Honey and Sam Philp, play Dow, play O'Brien, play Samo. It's the same thing, but just new kids.
Yep.
It's yeah. So I'm 33, so I've seen a few more of these conversations that I can remember, but it was very similar sentiment. I'm not really in the camp that believes that you play those 3 boys tonight.
No, not tonight. I agree with you on that.
Maybe Cooper Lord, potentially. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Or Moya in place for Motlop. Yeah, you can't say now. Like you can't. It's impossible.
I actually didn't mind Motlop. I mean, Motlop actually applied some pressure tonight that I hadn't seen him apply like that.
Yep.
All year, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate timing. Always he's not there. Always he's been our best small forward all year. One of the best small forwards in the comp. It's just, it's a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, it just seems like there's no way around these things, and it breaks your heart. I was, to top things off, I needed Kemp for a goal, and I would have, been able to recoup my losses in emotion for some cash moolah, but that fucker didn't kick anything. Just
your fault.
It's I don't know, mate. Like I fucking it's my fault. It is. Just I love the Doc story, and he's played his last 3 games at the Gabba against Brisbane, and he just looked lost. It's the lack of game time in the year, and that's obviously not his fault. He's injured. Seeing him kick that goal was nice, and the boys get around them, and it looked like all hope wasn't lost at some point.
Mate, 3rd quarter, I actually thought we were rocking.
I did too, yeah.
We were rocking. I mean, our crowd was just waiting to jump on the back of something.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Just to have that 3rd quarter was really nice.
Cripps kicked a goal. Fantasia kicked a goal. Oh, Harry, the set shot.
Missed.
Had to kick it.
Kemp missed one.
Yeah. Harry was before halftime, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the last. I think it was the second last shot for the half. I think someone had. Someone kicked one immediately after him, and then the half ended. I don't know. Yeah. Look, to see Hewitt at the end of the game kind of lose his lid and just not a good look, man. What are you doing? Was it Hewitt or Newman?
You mean Nick Newman?
Newman.
Yeah.
My apologies. To see Newman do what he did at the end, I was like, what are you doing, man? Come on. Like, I know the emotions are running high, but you look like a chooch. What are you... it puts a sour taste in everyone's mouth. It's like you lost at half time. Like, what's the point? I know they were getting into each other, but to throw elbows and get reported, it's kind of gross and just doesn't give, doesn't set a good example for, your attitude. It's a sore losers mentality. I don't know.
No, look, credit to the Lions. They got it done and they got us, and they bullied us and they toyed with us. That's what they did.
They did. And you know what the sad thing is, Tez? At the second half of the game, they didn't play well at all. At all. I feel like they were a very gettable side. If we had just kicked 2 or 3 goals in the first, maybe an extra goal in the fourth, that would have been a fucking ripper game. That would have been an unreal game to watch.
Yeah.
And you want to know one thing that made me fucking laugh? When old mate from Brisbane had the set shot in the goal square and he missed. I didn't react until I saw Lewis Young laughing at him, and then I fucking nearly choked on my drink. I said, if he's laughing, fuck. And Lewis Young had a decent game, and I just
Lewis Young was on one tonight.
Can I tell you, he looked in some parts of the game more invested than Wiedering.
Yeah.
He just looked like he wanted to be there compared to the rest of the boys.
He had an aggression about him that I've been hoping to see. I'll rap for him because he's been a bloody whipping boy for a while. And you get that for a reason. And, his confidence dipped and his form dipped and whatever. But I was fucking stoked for him tonight.
Absolutely. I still think the skill level from him to Wiedering is night and day, but he just wanted it. He just wanted to show the boys that he needs his spot. He wants his spot. And you got to give it to him now because he played with heart, and that's all you want.
Yeah.
I'll leave it here. Thank you, Tez. I appreciate it. I really hope this isn't the last time we speak until March because that's going to kill me. My heart is aching already.
This will be the last fan cams for a game, but we're going to do a lot more fan cam style stuff.
Amazing.
Coming up. So
I'm really hoping to. Please, that'll be great. Keep us in the loop that the season is done, but we still support for the
show goes on, my friend.
That's it. It sure does. Thank you so much, Tez. I appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Have a good night.
Thanks. You too. Hey, Beachy.
Hey, Tez. How we going, mate?
You know what, mate? One of the comforting moments of my night was walking past you by chance after the game and just giving you a hug.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. I mean, I think we were both in our own little world by this point, and then we just saw each other, and it just rolled on from there.
Well, that sucked tonight, mate, didn't it?
I want to give you 2 numbers, Terry. The first number is 50. The first time a side has been held scoreless in an opening quarter of a final, that record now goes to us. The last time that happened, 1974. The next number I'm going to give you is 30. 30 years since we last won our last flag next year. In fact, I'm going to give you another number as well, and that is 60. 60 points given up in a half of footy, and yet we only lost by 28. Make that make sense.
None of it makes sense. There's no logic. There's absolutely no logic with any of this.
The logic for me, at least with all of that, as I got back into my hotel room, it flew out the 25th story window and is now heading towards the central train station as we speak, potentially heading to Brisbane Airport. So, yeah.
Oh, wow, they really let it slip at 11-4. They completely bottled it.
And I've been trying to deny. I've been trying to tell myself to deny it, to deny it. But after tonight, how can you?
How could
How
you?
can you deny it? How can you deny it when the last game we played of the regular season was one of the more painful experiences we've had, and people are going to be saying this should be more painful. It's not, because you, as people have said, you reap what you sow. And unfortunately, as much as I try to be positive and all that, we got exactly what we deserved.
Yeah. Wow, they completely let it slip.
And we've seen sides we've seen sides slip badly. We've seen sides do something like this before. But somehow, some way, some form, some shape, we've done it worse than the rest of them. I hate to say it, mate, but we have, and it's now going to be lingering over our heads for the next however many months. So now we need to find a way to get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, the group just only seems to respond when things are, feeling bad. Like they need a weight to carry to overcome. Last year was overcoming the weight of the devastation of 2022. This year they just didn't have the hunger for long enough, or didn't have the concentration for long enough. And now you sit in the off season with that result tonight and this season after you got yourselves in that position. And let's just hope that they respond next year for longer.
Well, you said, Terry, that they want to have a weight of emotion after a season like 2022, which carried us on to 2023 to a prelim. And now that since we had that weight drop off, we've now got to drop back on. The question I now want to ask them is, how long do you want to carry it for? How long do you want to carry this weight for? Because sooner or later, mate, you will need to produce something that most of us fans will need to hold on to. And if it means we're holding on to individual accolades, fine. But at some point, a line has to be drawn and a team collective needs to be brought in. Now, how do we do that? I don't know. I'm sitting up here in a hotel room like you in Brisbane before I have to head back to Melbourne. But the fact is this: we need to make sure that we are actually doing this for longer, and we need to start doing it from the minute we get back into the club for the new season next year. Yeah. It's simple as that.
Well said, mate. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here all year. And I'm sure this isn't the last time we see you in 2024.
No, it won't be, mate. I will be trying to get on as much as I can throughout the remainder of this year, or even messaging you at some point. Again, as I have said to you before, and I will say it again probably until the day I'm dead, thank you for creating this opportunity for myself, for fans like myself at least, and for giving us this platform to give our voices to be heard. Because in years gone by, I don't think we'd have had this until, at least this extent, until now. So thank you again, Terry.
Beachy, speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers, Terry.
See ya. Johnny fucking Holden.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? It's been a long night. Just a couple of things, mate. turned out to be a good night. I've enjoyed watching the game. In a few silly, sarcastic ways. In what I mean is, Voss has now, he's made his bed. Now he's got to lay in it. What I mean by that is, he's got to start. He's going to go away and he's going to sort of look at it about who he's selecting and who he's playing. Is he playing the guys who he thinks can do the job, as opposed to the guys who can do the job? Is he going to play the players who are selfish or selfless? There was a few selfish players there tonight. Now, we all love Doc. Selfish as fuck. Sorry, but selfish as. He wasn't ready. He was not ready, not one little bit. Yet he put himself first and foremost and went out there. Chera was another. He wasn't ready. TDK, you could sort of argue the point. He was only 50%. But to play him sub was a bit silly. We don't know Harry, whether he was selfish or whether they said to him, look, we need you out there. How good are you? Just stay up forward, because he wasn't his usual running up and back all night long like he normally does, that link-up player. So was he slightly hampered and they went, look, we need you. What can you do? Just stay in the forward line. Don't go too far. That's all we need you to do for tonight, because Charlie hasn't come up. We don't know. Proud of the way the boys fought back in the way that we would have in 2018, 2019 team, we would have been belted by 100 points. So to show a little bit of ticker, even though Brisbane might have put the queue in the rack, I was happy to see that they actually did fight it out and, did fly the flag a little bit, because Carlton of past would have just gone too hard and got rolled by 119 points and just let it go. They wouldn't have even given a yelp. There's a lot of players there that they really have to have a look at not trade them out, not do anything drastic, but put them on notice that unless you pull your socks up and you play to a certain level, you will be playing in the twos. You will be put aside, and guys like Moya and Bins and these sorts of younger guys will come in. Whether we start looking at offloading a few of them once their contracts are up. I think we've got a few players that we traded in a few years ago that helped us at the time, which I think have gone past. I don't want to name names because that's a little bit unfair, because there's quite a few of them out there that are just about to lose you. Hang on, let me plug my phone. Sorry, that's better. I wrote down a whole heap of things. Like there's a lot that need to be have a look at to play at elite level. Like they don't play at an elite level; they play at a it'll do level. You watch all the other sides, but they stand up and they play to a greater level. These guys don't. There's not all of them. There are a few exceptions, but there's some of them that just don't do it. We need to find out which players want to play for the jumper or play for the paycheck, because there's a few out there who just play for the paycheck. As for like what Tom was saying about it doesn't matter. We've always got next year. Well, yeah, we do have next year, and we've got to look forward to next year, because the alternative is we stay where we are or we plummet down the bottom. So you've only got two choices. Either you look forward to next year and embrace it and try and improve within? Or do we just go, nah, fuck, it's too hard, and we stay where we are, or we do a Richmond and end up, tumbling away? Your biggest asset this time of year is your injury list. And yeah, we got a few back, but you could tell that they weren't ready. It's fine being fit here, but is the body fit? Are you match fit? And you could obviously see that they weren't. It's a fine. I think if this was round 15, I don't think we would have seen the players come in like we did. Being a final and everything else like that, you've got to play your stars. And
You just got to go for it. Yeah.
you've
I've got
got to hope that the stars stand up and you
Just
pay
on
them.
just on that. What do you think about? I'm dealing in if, buts, and maybes and whatnot, but let's just say the injury situation was a positive this year, because obviously it was awful this year. How much of a difference do you think it would have made to this team this year if there was continuity with the playing group and we had like 8 to 10 players that played every game? Like, how much of a difference do you think that makes?
Oh, it makes a huge. We had 3 players this year who played every game.
Yeah.
Now you look at all the good sides who finished top 4. I mean, not necessarily win a flag, but even top 4, they all have that continuity. I mean, they all have a dozen or so players that play the entire year, especially the back end of the year, in towards the latter years at the latter stage and the finals. You need that continuity. You can't have your stars coming in after a month off in the first week of finals and expect them to hit their straps. That doesn't happen. You might be able to carry 1, maybe 2 at the most, but you can't carry 6. So I think they I know they had to roll the dice and go for it, but I think they will learn from this. I think Vossi will learn a lot from tonight. I've said it a few times. It takes a while for it to all gel together, and this is just a learning curve for them all. Now, it'll be interesting to see who stays and who goes as far as the coaching panel go, because now Hansen can really come out and say whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to go for the West Coast job, because now his year's finished. We all know Vossi's not the tactical coach. He's like a man manager. That's why Hansen's there. So do we need a better tactical coach or another tactical coach? Do we need a couple of line coaches that maybe need to be moved on? The one thing I notice with Hawthorns and your Richmonds and your Geelongs, they turn them over. They don't stick with the same ones all the time. They have 1 or 2 they keep. The rest they keep churning over. Fresh ideas, new ideas. Maybe we need a couple of those. Like I think Paul was talking about it before, about the long down the line, bomb it in. Like that, whoever is in charge of that part of it, that doesn't work. And every other team in the comp in 2024 football does a different kind of way of playing football. We go long down the line all the time, and it's predictable. We talk about bringing in the kids. Now, halfway through the year, we dropped Hewitt for 2 games. We dropped TDK, give him a rest. Fan camps lost their fucking mind. Everyone went berserk. It was, oh my God. Yet you want to give these kids a go, someone has to be dropped. Now, if we drop the people that we like, heaven forbid, oh my God, we lose our shit. But if we drop the other players, it's okay. So who do you drop and who do you keep? Now, a lot of it's a like for like sort of comparison. Binns plays on a wing in the middle. Ollie Law, Cooper Lord plays in the middle. So you're going to have to drop a midfielder. So that's a Hewitt, that's a Cripper, that's a Kennedy or a Walsh. Now we drop one of them for a Lord. You think the world's not going to lose their shit? Come on.
It's true.
Let's put it in perspective here. We're not going to bring in Cooper Lord and drop Mark Pittonet. That's not going to happen. Now, Pitto had been playing reasonably well. Do you bring in a fully a half-fit TDK to go up against McInerney? Now, McInerney's a beast. He absolutely tore us apart in the final last year. Like he kicked 3 goals, I think it was, or 2 goals. Tore us apart. So, he taught Pitto a new one tonight. TDK, once he got on, he leveled the playing field a bit. Like he really,
I hate to go back into individualism, but I think TDK's game today, how he was able to impact tonight in that final with the lack of preparation. I know a lot of us are saying, like, why was he the sub? He was the sub because they definitely didn't feel like he could play the full game. It actually just reinforced to me, geez, he is the new cornerstone of it all. He's so important to us now. He has become that really important player for the team now. And as long as he's fit and available, he's got it. Yeah.
The thing for me is TDK is a 6'10" midfielder.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's a 6'10" midfielder because he runs like a gazelle. He's got he's got sure ball handling skills. He can generate anything that he wants to. He goes behind play. He can mark and create. Pitto is just a roadblock. Like he is the old style dinosaur ruckman, and he does a job, and that's all he does. Yet tonight he goes forward and kicks 2 goals, bang. He's our leading goal kicker. He can't catch a cold, yet he goes forward, takes 2 marks, kicks 2 goals within 3 minutes. You just think, are you serious? Only in a final. It can only happen to us in a final, So I just think it's a stepping stone. Like I come on here, I think it was after Hawthorn, I said, look, there's a big part of me that hopes we don't make it because it's just going to wallpaper over the cracks. I always want us to win. I always want us in finals. Playing finals is always going to be good for us because it gives us more experience and everything else like that. You can't buy that in home and away. It's everyone says there's 2 seasons. Your home and away season, then there's the finals, and the intensity increases. You're never going to learn that unless you're playing it. So the boys have got another game under their belt. I just hope, and like I said, a lot of the mistakes that were made today will be glaring because it failed so badly. And I really hope that they really put that under the magnifying glass and go, hey, we really need to have a look at this because we failed miserably. We didn't just stuff it up. We failed badly. And like there was someone on before, I think it was Jad, was saying that this will go down in history as like such a bad mistake. This is what not to do in the future. I don't think it'll be that bad, but it will be internal. I don't think they'll do that again. So I just think, it's not all doom and gloom. We made the finals. That's always a good thing. I mean, yeah, we all expected to make top 4. I get that. But would you rather finish top 8 or bottom 4 or 13th or 11th like Essendon? I'll take 8th every day. Now, do I want 8th next year and 8 and 26 and 8 and 27? No, I want us to progress, but considering where we were and how we finished the season off, there's a small bit of positivity in it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of negative, but there's a little bit of positive.
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality is nothing.
We played finals.
Yeah.
Mate, I just want to reiterate what everyone else is saying, mate. Thank you very much for the year. No doubt we'll keep in touch as per usual. But yeah, thanks for everything you've done with the fan cams, mate, and onwards and upwards.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right, mate. Take care, mate. Love you heaps.
See ya, love you too. Bye. You great man, Johnny Holden. Matthew, thanks for the season, for all the content to help us get through this mess. It's honestly therapy. It is therapy. It's therapy for me too, remember. Webby, he's here.
Hello, Terry.
Hello, mate.
They sucked us in again, didn't they? They got us again.
We have no one to blame but ourselves.
I don't want pity.
No, do not feel sorry for us.
No, don't, because we are the dickheads who got on a plane and we G'd ourselves up. It's like, we're going to do this. But that first half was nothing short of fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. I don't want to hear about the second half. I don't really care.
Yeah.
That first half was just embarrassing and a slap in the face to everybody who jumped on the plane and supported this football club.
Yeah, that one, that sucked.
Decisions have to be made. Players have to be moved on. Brad Lloyd has to be moved on. Tough conversations have to be had. And this 9 last weeks of the season has to be dissected to the inch of its life, because we have wasted a season and we don't have time to waste a season with this group. I don't believe in chucking the baby out with the bathwater. We don't have to do that. We don't have to regenerate. We have the list. Now we have to decide whether Voss is or isn't the man. We have to be ruthless, and we have to make that decision.
What do you think? What do you think?
I don't care either way, Terry. I don't care either way. If he stays, great. If he goes, we move on.
Yeah.
We are the team that every opposition supporter wants us to be. Flaky and mentally weak. The pressure was on tonight and we fumbled. We couldn't hit a target. We played down the line. Like, that game plan went out 20 years ago, Terry. The game is now based on run and gun and overlap run. We do neither. Neither.
We only seem to overlap run when we're down by 40.
Correct. And the delusion idiot I am said at halftime, it's not over till it's over. The deluded idiot in me, when we kicked 3 in a row and started singing, it's happening again. I am a deluded idiot. Because I believe in this playing group. Idiot.
Same.
We are idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
What more can we say?
Nothing,
That's all
mate.
I've got for you. That's all
Webby,
I've got for you.
You've nailed it, mate. Well done.
All right. Good night.
Good night, mate. Ben.
Oh, hey, buddy.
How we doing?
Surprisingly, not too bad, because this sort of 2 weeks, I don't know, after the St Kilda game for me, it was really just hit me so hard. Even though we still were lucky to get into finals, I was just so down. Like, felt so down. And so for the past 2 weeks, I just haven't read into any footy content. Like, haven't watched any of your videos for the last 2 weeks. I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to have 2 weeks and I'm not going to go 110% in. I'm just going to watch the game and hope for the best. And in the first quarter, I was like, thank fuck I haven't wasted all that emotion. But at the same time, I was devastated. It's just so tough.
My foundations got rocked after Hawthorn because I now know because I was in denial from the Giants loss until the week before Hawthorn. So what was that? Collingwood.
Yeah.
So the boys would rediscover it, and I thought that they had gotten to a level that I hadn't seen them before, and definitely haven't been the same since Hawthorn. And then kind of logic said we were losing tonight. I'm not that shocked that we lost. But yeah, that Hawthorn one just split it all open and ripped the Band-Aid, I guess.
Yeah, that was the one.
I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know how to trust the club when I think they're going in the right direction anymore. I don't know what's real and I don't know what's not.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. I just like, I don't know. I don't have, like at the moment, I don't believe for next year at the moment. Like, I just can't see next year being a good year. Oh, it might be, might not, but yeah,
Well, I mean, chances are next year there'll be 2 or 3 things that we just didn't get right. But we got a lot of things right next year. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm unable to truly trust, and I want to trust.
Yeah,
and I
I'm
feel
the
like
same.
we're just unable to get to that point. Because even when we do, it just gets so over. It gets so overblown that mentality has to seep into the club.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
we were all fucking celebrating. Man, people were booking flights from overseas for finals and
Yeah, and I've had the last month off work trips because I told them no chance September because we're fucking going to the grand final. So no trips for me in September. Now I look like a fucking dickhead sitting at home in Melbourne.
I think it's just got to be about, at least we hang out and have this space and we build connection.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to like get your thoughts on like our list. Like, I feel like if we went to every single club in the competition and said we'll do a swap for lists, don't get who you want, I would say 17 or at least 16 clubs would say, yep, we'll do a direct swap. I reckon if Geelong had our list, I reckon they'd shit in the flag this year. I feel like they just run so much better than we are. And even Hawthorn, if you said at the start of the year, oh yeah, Hawthorn are going to finish above you and they're going to win a first final and you'll be out. And you'll be down at 60 points, or 60 points to none in a elimination final. Coming into the year, you would have said you're an idiot. And so, yeah, like my partner's Geelong. And at the start of the year, she was halfway through the year, she was pretty pissed off and getting angry at games. And I said to her, I'm like, well, look, I'm up and about at the moment, but this is the first time in my life that I'm half up and about my club, and you're shitty because your team's sitting in ninth halfway through a year. Like, I'm actually so jealous of how good you've had to, or been brought up in supporting a club.
Yeah. Shit. And then they're in the prelim.
Again, with who? Oh my God, man.
Oh,
how do
man.
they find this Lawson, Humphreys, and fucking all of them? I just don't get it. How are they so good, so consistent? I just want a bit of it.
I don't want to go down the path of coaching, but fuck. I feel like if I do, then
I'm the same.
I can't sit through another failed coaching group.
I'm the same. Tonight I was looking at it and I just
can't.
I don't want to say it.
I can't be doing that again. Fucking hell. But
yeah, because the question that I did ask myself halfway through the game was, all right, well, we can't go through another coach. We know that it's not the right option to keep flicking through coaches, but if you sort of know that the coach you have isn't the right coach, like, how long do you just persist with someone for the sake of not wanting to change a coach now?
yeah, I believe in Bossy.
So do I. I think he'll still be okay.
Yeah, so I believe in him and I believe you build around him. But I also know I'm biased in thinking that way because I don't want to live through another coach sacking and regeneration.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll
it's
see.
Hard.
We shall see what happens.
But yeah, no, I like definitely, as I said, going into tonight, I think I'm sort of going to have a similar approach next season. I'm going to try and be a little bit more invested, like try and sit back because again, like I was able to enjoy the game a little bit more, even though it was shit. But I wasn't as built up going in, and I wasn't as fucking here we go. I was sort of just able to chill a little bit. So I think that's forward for me next year anyway.
Well, mate, thanks for your support. Thanks for
Thank
getting
you.
yourself a BA hoodie. It's very good.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks,
we'll
mate.
Speak to you again before the year's out, no doubt, man.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for that, mate. Thanks for the year.
No worries. See ya. Stephen Dunlop, thanks very much for the year. We all really appreciate the work you do. This stings a lot, but anyway, I'm just so glad we have this channel. Don't know what I'd do without it. Thank you, Matt. Hey, Peter V, donated 10 memberships. Thank you. If you receive one of those memberships, give Peter some love. Got a couple more, and then I want to wrap it up. It's 1:38 in the morning. Got 3 more. Jez.
How you going, Terry?
Good, mate. How are you?
Look, I was hoping for the best, as I told you. I was hoping, the players that come in. Look, we have got some good young players next year. I'm trying to look at positive things to say, like Coopy Lord and Ashton Moy and maybe Billy Wilson, maybe Harry Lemmy. It might be all progressive next year. Fingers crossed. I just wonder who we... I mean, I don't know how Motlop and Durden got in front. It's easy to say that now in front of even Meyer would have been handy to play today, but I would have loved to have seen TDK start on the ground. It's easy to say. They didn't think he was fit enough. Then Kennedy comes off as a sub, which I think he's a lot of, he puts so much heart into it, and that was quite, when he didn't have an injury, I thought that was quite unsettling to me.
Hey, Jared.
Yes?
Is there any chance you can go somewhere where they're not playing music in the background?
Yeah, right. Yep. Is that better?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just been a year, like, going to Adelaide for the Gav round, going to games, and then, being fourth in the ladder for most of the year, then second getting injuries. I know you can't blame injuries and everything else, but then finishing eighth, coming up to Brisbane, watching him for 2 quarters hardly kick a goal with my partner, and my son actually went too, but I don't know what to say. It was that the first half was shocking football.
Terrible. Yeah.
I've never seen anything worse. I knew we couldn't come back, and then well, you always can come back, I guess. But I thought we had chances in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and I just wish we had put more pressure on the first two. I don't know. I'm really disappointed in the club in some ways, in the selection. And it's easy to say that, and just I don't. If there's any arrogancy or whatever going on behind the scenes we don't know about, but it's quite when you think it's the last game of the year and the way they lost. And I think the margin was flattening, better than we could have been more fresh by more, personally, than those late goals. So I don't know what to say. I'm just was really nearly crying, upset, just because, like everyone else, put a lot into the year, the fans, and I know it's a game, but it's more than a game to us. We just want to be successful. So, does that make sense?
Totally. Mate, we want to experience a special day. That's what we want, a special memory.
I'm wondering who are we going to trade next year? Who are we picking up? I know the Camperellis. It'd be great if they were like the Dacos trends, wouldn't it? But I mean, that's guessing.
Yeah.
How good they're going to be. So I guess it's just an upsetting, just things that happened today.
Yeah. Things that happened over the last few months, I think, as well.
Yeah, I know. It's the last 6 weeks when we were fourth on the ladder for so many weeks. And then I know we lost TDK, which actually, when he came on the ground, I thought he was one of the better players, what he did.
Mm.
But what do you do? Just wait and see what happens. See what the club does.
We will definitely be here to unpack all of it. We've got season review mode, and then trade period will come up, draft period will come up. So, we'll be here to make sure everything is detailed.
And the worst thing is I got tickets off the club, and there was a few other Carlton supporters there, and we went up to the gate 9, and it said invalid ticket.
Oh, mate, that was a disaster today.
And I missed most of the first quarter, had to go to the box office at gate 1 before they could fix it. Don't know if you heard about that, did you?
Happened to me as well.
Oh, invalid. Yeah,
invalid ticket.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. So I missed the start and everything, etc. So, yeah. So that happens. Anyway, Terry, thanks for being so fantastic at show.
No worries, mate. Thanks for calling in, and go Blues.
Yeah, no worries. Go Blues. Thanks.
Yeah. Lewis.
What do you want me to say, man?
Do you have something to say that someone else hasn't said?
I don't even know the words. Okay. You know what? Fine. Let's give a clap to us that we made finals this year. Actually, let's give a clap that Doherty came back. I mean, let's be honest here. Doherty, incredible story. And most importantly, let's give a clap for Carlton being 60 points fucking down in the fucking first half, and when the game was already lost. Fuck me, man. I can't be asked. I'm sorry. This club has absolutely have no idea on how to bloody play the right game style, play the right system. You know what really annoys me? Why do we always bring players back when they have been injured for so long? Adam Chera should not have been playing. He was not in the right to play. Cooper Lord should have been playing. I'm sick and tired of bringing experienced players in the team because of their maturity and since they've been in the AFL more. Like, why? Like, you've seen Hawthorne, you see Xavier Dia. He was pick 46. And guess what? He's destroying it. Straight away, he's just destroying the league. And not only that, the fact that we've seen Hawthorn be rebuilding for 5 years and won the first final in nearly 9 years. And we have been rebuilding for 10 years. And we just won what? And that took us forever.
2 and 2.
I'm saying right now, Hawthorn are ahead of us. People be like, oh, Carlton are ahead of them because they're playing the preliminary final. No. Hawthorn are ahead of us because of the game plan and the style. I'm saying this right now. Hawthorn are going to be a better club. They're going to be next year. Get ready for them. Battle's going to come in, and Barras is going to come in for them. They're going to be a great club next year. I really am upset with what this club has done to us fans. Like, we always deliver hacking out, we always come through. But when I see plays, there was one play in the second quarter, I think no one mentioned it. And I'll mention it. Remember when we saw Kerry Cooper took that mark in the second quarter, and then all the players started the fight, and then Danaher on his own goal square, and Kerry Cooper decided to handle it, and everyone let Danaher run an open goal. So the fact that we're not switched on when it fucking matters. We treat this game like it's not even a final. We treat this game like we are just playing there for pride. Like everyone's saying, we play like a bottom 4 team. We didn't play like a team that deserved to play finals. It's not good enough, Tez.
It's not.
When is it going to be the time where this club just goes, you know what? Enough is enough. Get rid of the players that don't want to play anymore. Get rid of the passengers. Get rid of the injured prone players. Get rid of Cunningham. I'm sorry. He's injured. With shoulder injuries. I'm done. Marchbank, I'm sorry, but he's done.
Yeah, we've covered that. Honestly, Lewis, I've heard it 700 times.
No, I get it, Tez. I get it, man. You know what?
The same thing.
It's all good. I'm sorry, man. I'm just... it's just frustrating. You know what? It's late at night, and I know that you want to go to bed. I know that you want to relax, wrap it up. It's so frustrating, but news next year, I guess.
See what big fish we're going to land in the off-season, Lewis.
I know, man. I know. Sorry for going to rant. It's just
no, it's okay. It's so fun. It's just
man.
If I hear it one more time, I might die.
Oh, it's so damn frustrating. And you know what? I actually drank something.
What'd you bring?
You know what this is?
No, what is that?
It's the 1995 Grand Final medal. This is the last time we've ever won a fucking flag. 30 years. 30 years since we won the flag. Wow. Before I go, I just want to say something that I think to me that needs to be said. This is what I've always thought about, and I'm just worried that we'll end up saying kia ora. Let's too focus on the past. We always focus on what Carlton used to be, but what we can do now instead of focusing too much on the past. We always focus on when we play our best, in previous matches we're good, but man, instead of focusing on that, make your game even more greater. Just seriously, there's so much improvement that you can do. Look, so many things need to go right in the preseason. Ruthless, play the young kids. Yeah. I hope we can see Ashton Moy playing all that. But anyway, I think we should wrap it up. So yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for this year, Tez. You've been great. Thank you so much for creating this content for us, and like someone said, giving us a voice to voice our opinions and everything else, man. So you know what? You've been a shining light through this darkness. So thank you so much, man.
Thanks, mate. Good night.
Good night, man.
That was beautiful. Thank you, mate. Aiden, lucky last, mate.
Oh, fuck, that was bad, man. Fuck.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm pretty sure everyone has said what I wanted to say, but how do you you know what? I feel that the club won't actually acknowledge that the season was the biggest fuck up. Probably, not 2022, but it was a massive fuck up. Like you don't how do you go from top to 6 points clear and you win the last 3 out of your 8 games or something like that, and you do that. You the feel good stories again, like Doherty coming back, beautiful, great. Apparently, it was meant to be the biggest motivational spark that this group needs. You got Walsh saying,
True. Yeah, 10 goals down. Oh, that is so funny. It's actually so toxic, but it's so funny.
you even got Walsh saying it's a new season. We're excited. We're up and about. We can't wait. I knew we lost when TDK was the sub. Fuck, but if it's a new season, then why did we show up like we have for the last 6 to 8 weeks? Why do that? It's a final. It's an elimination final. Everything's on the line. You got Doherty back. You've got your best players back. I understand injuries. Probably it probably was a little reason as to why our season stuffed up a little bit, but there's no excuse. You don't concede the first 10 goals in the first, 60 minutes or something like that. Like, we nearly made history being the first VFL, AFL side ever to concede, to not have a score before halftime. It was going to be that. It was that bad. I don't know. There has to be questions asked about the coaches, Voss, even some the players as well. It's a massive off season. We need new line coaches that actually coach where they used to play at. We need someone next to Voss, like a little senior assistant, because I don't want to mention Hawthorn, but mate, the way that as someone said it before, they've rebuilt for 2-3 seasons and they've eclipsed us already. How? Their list is, they've got a list. They probably don't even have the amount of first round draft picks that we have with this list. And they've eclipsed us. They probably don't have the talent that we do, but they have heart. They do the.
I was just on that. I want to open that up a little bit more. I think we touched on this a few weeks ago. That do you think? I mean, it's a beauty and a curse. For some, not for some reason, you wear that monogram, you wear that CFC logo. It's like there's aura around it. It's unquestionable. There's aura around it. And you touched on Hawthorn just there. I watched them last night. I wouldn't say they've got a superstar the way we call our players a superstar, but fuck, they play their role.
They do the basics so much better than we do. The kicks that they did inside 50, the way they spread, the way they defend, the way that everything they did was just beautiful. And then I watch us tonight, and we can't even fucking kick a 15-meter pass. And we call these players superstars, essentially. Do these players not understand that they've got 106,000 members backing them in, being really optimistic, really excited for them? Do these players not understand that they were on the verge of probably creating history, being storytellers, being icons for future generations, saying, oh, fucking Patrick Cripps captain who broke the premiership drought after a hardship for 10 years. Do they not think that? Like, if I'm being honest with you, I don't think that they probably wanted it as much as we thought that they did.
Yeah. No, they do want it. They do want it. The question of do they want it enough, I think maybe is a fair one. But they definitely do want it. They definitely, you know.
Yeah, but if you want it, then
there's so many other things that come that you get rewarded with by being a Carlton player.
You get the backing, you get the support.
Yeah, you get this love. You get this.
You get this unconditional love that probably no other fan base gives to their players. Like, for God's sake, you had people nearly pack out the Gabba tonight, and they witnessed that. Like if I'm a player that played tonight, I'd be really ashamed of myself, because that is a disgrace.
They would be, honestly. They would be. I mean, look, I know that the chat around selection and Chera and Doherty, and I get it. But I mean, we were desperate, and we went the desperate route, and you can't take shortcuts. Rarely. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can take shortcuts and it pays off. Very rarely are you able to take a shortcut with recovery, especially in a final, and it pays off. I mean, we should be lucky that no one got injured.
I know.
Think about that. Oh my God, that's the most ironic part about tonight. We put up so much risk to put the team out tonight, and we put underdone players out there, and touch wood, we didn't get an injury. Oh my God, but all year we did. Make that make sense. Doherty got through, Chera got through, De Koning got through. I know De Koning as a sub didn't look normal.
That was terrible.
But I think that they were not. I don't think that they were confident that he could play a full game. And I think Vossi said it in his presser, and he said we were hoping it would have been one more week. So they obviously had rushed him back. I think it's a miracle that we didn't get an injury tonight.
Yeah, but the one thing that I don't get is, if you're not confident on playing, then why even playing?
Well, because you're desperate, and you see De Koning literally. I come away from that tonight thinking, oh my God, De Koning. I don't want to get caught up in the God complex, Messiah complex thing, but De Koning is him. To do what he did tonight and to impact the way he did tonight at 60% capacity was really impressive.
He has to be our starting ruck next year.
He's
ready.
ready.
The one thing that I hope that this club and the coach next year do in the off season for next year is that they stick to what works. They don't change anything. They just stick to something that works, because I really hope that this year is another learning curve, because we all said in 2022, I hope it never happens again. I hope they learn from it, blah, 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 blah. Well, this list has 3 more years or 4 to win a flag. And if they don't, then it will probably be one of the biggest fuck ups in a rebuild, to have a captain that's won now potentially 2 Brownlows, and a forward and 2 forwards to have won 3 Commons, and to not win a collective award. It's a massive failure. And I don't like when people say, oh, we should have 2 years of a mini rebuild. Like, what for? What's it going to achieve? Like Cripps is 30. Do you want that guy to go through another mini rebuild now? Like, seriously.
Yeah, no, we're playing to win now. We're in the window. The window of the age profile of the list is that of a club in the window. Fair play. We now know who the head of strength and conditioning is. I'm glad we're not sitting here talking about that as, who's it going to be? Like, it's done. It's locked in. We know what's happening. They obviously identified that as an issue I mean, it's probably been an issue for a while, but I mean, last year you make a prelim and you're probably thinking, oh, we figured it out. We'll give him one more year. So I'm glad that that's a question that doesn't need to be raised in the off season because we know what it's going to look like. Now it's onto the list, and what happens with the list now?
That new high performance is a tick. I do think that we need a new footy boss. We need coaches around Voss that just suit his system. I feel like some of the coaches tonight, they prove that they can't be there next year. Like we just need something new at the club. Like we're here to win, and I'd probably make even harsh trades as well. Like if you're not here, if you're here to win, then stay. If you're not, then just go. Like as you said before, like there's something, like if you're a player wearing that monogram, then you should feel something. Like I don't like in your like. Where do you view this season? Because you're obviously gonna have make a video review, but like, how would you like basically sum up this season?
Wasted opportunity.
Again.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a disgrace.
It probably is a disgrace.
It's a disgrace because we haven't.
No, sorry. I shouldn't be using the word probably. It was a disgrace. Season's over now. It was. They had it in the palm of their hands, and they choked the season away. They threw it away. They wasted it.
Like how? Like after Geelong, we were so excited. We were so optimistic. I was looking at the back half of the season. I'm like, tick, 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 tick. Oh, we're gonna get Chera back. We're gonna get Cottrell back. Oh my, prelim this, prelim that. We get to rest players. I had a full plan of what was gonna happen, and it backfired. Me and my dad were talking about we need to make a grand final now. Like, what does it take us until we're 45 points down to fucking go for it? To have some dare to use the run and carry, why do we?
There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between what they are being told to do and what
there's
they
confusion.
are. Yeah, well, there's definitely a disconnect. Yeah, there's definitely a breakdown in. And then they turn on when it becomes about pride. Because you get down by 40 or whatever it is, and then you switch on because you have like self-pride. But
the thing is, we were showing we played.
I've just realized something. The connection's not there, Zanzibar. You're right. I thought Voss was bringing connection to this group. I thought it was all about connection and staying connected.
No, but the thing that I don't understand is that it changed in a quarter against GWS. It just changed. We were up by 39 points, and what changed from that game to turn this season bad? Like, what happened? I don't there's a disconnect. Like, is it mentality? Did something happen internally? Because I honestly think that Russell departure had something more to it. Probably.
Well, I mean, it just had to. By the end, you just look at it now and you're like, well, that had to happen.
It had to happen, but why announce it during the season?
Well, the reason was because they wanted to be able to approach the new guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find it pretty.
Didn't want to wait because, think about it. Sydney are still alive, so you wait until Sydney are done.
Yeah, true, but I don't know. I don't. I really hope that next year we learn harsh lessons from this year, work it out. It works. Healthy list onto next year. We get some continuity into this squad, because I do feel like that you were talking to Johnny Holden about it before, like having 3 consistent players for the whole year isn't good enough. If we had probably half the team consistent, different story, maybe our season could have turned. But we just need some continuity in injury. We need some consistency, because I've got questions on Voss now. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I hope next year doesn't get worse. I don't know.
Aiden, thanks for calling.
It's fine. It's all good.
And we'll speak soon. We'll do more fan cams for season reviews and things like that. But I think for now it's time to go to sleep.
I'll probably not even go to sleep.
I've got to catch a flight in the morning, so I've got to get out of here.
Right.
But thanks, man. Appreciate you.
All good. Thanks for having me.
See ya. That's it. That's the final fan cams for a year. Oh, we got through. Do you know, we've done the fan cams every week since Jack Noons kicked the goal after the siren. Every game since that game. I think that was round 13, 2020. Every single game. I got really uncomfortable when people were, and it's the truth, because it's the end of the season. It's like, thanks for the year. I don't want it to be over. So I was getting a little shitty at that sentiment, but I guess you just got to realize the reality is that's it. Season's done. That was the last fan cams after a game for the year. And that concludes what has been, a really wasted year. Just sat in denial after 11-4, thinking that they were going to rediscover themselves and figure it out. But hey, that's footy. That, ladies and gents, was the Elimination Finals fan cams for season 2024. We'll do more unpacking. I'll get the review out tomorrow. But yeah, thanks to everyone, obviously, that tuned in, supports the channel. So much more coming. This is just the end of the football. We've got a lot more to come. I'm a bit delusional right now. I need to just hit end stream and go to bed. But I'll speak to you tomorrow during the review. Take care, guys. Go Blues.